Let me make Octo be quiet.
The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Good Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. See? Tonight, show sponsored by Miracle Automotive Recovery out of Stark and McClinney. When you have an automotive crisis, don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle. And by Southern Gym, Photo Booth and Stark. Not only do we bring fun to your event, we make it picture perfect. This is your show coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. You control and run this show. We are just a rudder that steers this big old vessel. We bring it to you first for education, discussion, and debate of local news, politics, and sports, as well as the latest on the COVID-19 situation. We have you covered from Middleburg to Melrose to McIntosh, from Lake City to Lake Butler to Lake Como, from Waldo to Williston, from Lottie to Lulu, where I see Mitchell Gunner's stepbrother, and his name is Stacy, and all points in between, including Gainesville, Palatka, Ocala, and of course right here in beautiful Stark, Florida. Now here's your On the Spot team, making it happen every single week.
Oh, goodness.
First.
Right?
Yeah, first. I got to get,
Okay.
putting it all together behind the scenes. Our executive producer tonight, filling in for his dad, is Super Dave Holland Jr. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
And keeping the show to the flow, or the flow to the show, is our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. He is out on special assignment right now. Rounding out the team is Austin Storm Chaser Stevens and John, Better Than Snopes Probst. And our great media partners, Eagle Country 106.3 FM with Chuck and Mary Kramer, and the Bradford County Telegraph with the Tillmans, the Smellies, and hey, everybody in Williams and everybody else that works there. We appreciate what you guys do.
I got my distance. I just want to prove my distance.
Yeah, boy.
Objects in the video are closer than they actually are.
You got that right. And now our co-host.
I'm still going
to my right and your left, with no local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the local voice on current events, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Boy, that's some social distancing. And to my left, your right, is our historian and governmental whiz, Byron, the freedom fighter Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
And I'm your host, David Rodgers, the voice of Bradford High Tornadoes and
The Show Pony.
All right, and to my left right here is our own, very own Sheriff, Bradford County Sheriff Gordon Smith. We need to go back. We're coming to you live from the On the Spot studios right here in beautiful downtown Stark, Florida. Only 2,750 miles from Walla Walla, Washington. How about that?
Walla, where is that?
Well, I don't know either. So let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic wisdom from the freedom fighter. Sheriff, I'm going to ask if you lead us in prayer tonight, please, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come for you this afternoon, not asking for anything, but to say thank you. Thank you for the men and women that you protect each and every day that keep us safe here in home and abroad, known as our U.S. military, those brave men and women. But also to say thank you for allowing us to live in the greatest country in the world. And I would like to say the greatest community in the world is always better than Bradford.
That's right.
And all God's children said,
Amen. All right, let us stand for the pledge. And I'm going to ask our local guru, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen. While Byron's getting ready for the Patriotic Quote of the Week, which I believe you've already got, you know we have some nicknames for ourselves. We are the Freedom Fighters. We are the new sons of liberty. We are the defenders of the republic, the DOR, and the new high priest of the church of the painful truth.
Hey,
Thank you,
don't
Mr.
forget the
Rewards.
Mickey Mouse Club.
No, I can't add that.
Yeah,
Anyway. Yeah. Byron, what you got for us
That's like
right now?
copyrighted or something.
Yeah, that's copyright. Okay, yeah, better not get that one.
I still want the Thomas Jefferson quote, but I'm thinking better of it.
Okay.
I behaved myself.
All right.
Sheriff on tonight.
That's it.
Yeah, we're kinder, gentler these days.
Well,
Well, I take that back. I apologize. That was probably not the whole truth.
yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. That's quite all right. Freedom is not a gift bestowed upon us by other men, but a right that belongs to us by the laws of God and nature.
Amen.
All right, amen, man. Give a little explanation
Another
on that,
paradigm.
Byron. Just a little bit.
That's a not Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin quote. It basically means that when we establish laws in this country, they are designed to forward our liberties, and our liberties are not granted to us by our government; they're granted to us by God and the laws of nature.
That's right.
That's
It's plain and simple enough, isn't it?
plain and simple.
Mr. Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
How is he related to you, by the way?
I don't know.
He's related to Mitchell.
No, I thought he was my fourth or fifth great grandfather or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Something like that.
Yeah, there you go. You got several grandfathers back in the day, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Before we delve into today's latest, we want to recognize our great sponsors who have been working hard with limited staff and changing hours. This is our sponsor spotlight. Southern Gem Photo Booth Photography Business. Call for an appointment at 904-263-6079 and let Megan not only bring fun to your event, she can make it picture perfect. How about it, Byron?
Dependable waste services in Stark. From land clearing to waste management to commercial accounts, Jamie Clemens can make your land the place to be. Call 904-966-0255.
Hey, how about Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $8 haircut? Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338 and reopening very soon.
Sooner than you may think. And the
Yes,
sheriff will
sir.
talk about that here as we get into our issues with that right there. Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair. Don't risk going out in public. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. 904-703-5136.
Williams Jewelry on Call Street. By appointment only. But plans are underway to reopen very soon. The building has been deep cleaned and sanitized and ready for customers. Check them out on Facebook or call Vicki and her great team at 904-964-7064.
How about on the spot line of maintenance? Let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. Call 904-966-1633.
And so that phone number sounds familiar.
Yeah, making sure.
And I can tell you from experience from last weekend, they do a really good job on your lawns.
We've got some pictures that we're going to be posting out there. We did Mr. Byron Bagwell's yard last week, and we did Michael Heater's a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do it again. And, hey, I tell you, we're just trying to do the thing out there, trying to keep everybody's yard pretty. Your dad does mowing as
Yes,
well.
he does.
And we're going to get him on, too.
I was actually helping him work on one of his lawnmowers today.
Yeah, man, that takes a lot of upkeep. You should have called Chuck Scarberry.
I'm just as handy.
I hear you. Business Clean House Cleaning Services. Call Karen for free estimate. 352-575-5835. Mr. Michael Heater really believes in her. I can tell you that. And now here's a quick and dirty for this Saturday night. We start in East Palatka, where one person was injured after he was pinned 50 feet up in a tree by another tree that fell into him. Near County Road 207A, a high-angle rescue team from Palatka Fire Department rescued the man who was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Alachua County deputies apprehended a suspect wanted in a homicide in Northport, south of Tampa, approximately 9:45 p.m. Deputies located a suspect vehicle traveling north on Interstate 75 and conducted a traffic stop around the 395 mile marker north of Gainesville. The suspect refused to exit the vehicle and on numerous occasions waved a firearm in plain sight after a standoff that shut down the interstate for nearly 8 hours. The subject was arrested without incident and without injury. MCSO deputies and detectives responded to a call for shots fired at 12:17 a.m. yesterday in Silver Spring Shores. When deputies arrived, they found a male deceased and a juvenile with a gunshot wound. The juvenile was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. That's a good sign. A second citywide power outage is scheduled for this Tuesday morning, May 5th, from 12:05 a.m. to 2 a.m. Sheriff, what do you think?
I just think you're reminded they're trying to do it in the middle of the night when the least people are affected in businesses,
Right.
and they're trying to get it up. They want to keep things maintained and running. We did have a major power outage last Saturday.
Yes, we did.
Last Saturday, due to another squirrel. They're trying to get those problems fixed. They're upgrading the system. And, it's like anything. When the new road's being built, we hate it. We
Right.
despise it.
Right.
Get aggravated. But when it's done, you're like, oh, it's so much nicer. And that's what they're trying to do with the city power system.
There you go. This was originally scheduled for Monday morning, but was changed earlier this afternoon. The first one was the first of 3 planned outages to replace old and degraded equipment. The outage on Saturday was not related, but did point out vulnerabilities. The outage will be the second step to ensure storms, squirrels, and other outage causes are minimized. Is that when the squirrel went berserk in Pascagoula?
That's it. Suicide squirrels.
I seen that, man. You have suicide squirrels. You ain't kidding. The city strongly recommends all unnecessary items, including computers, electronics, and the light be unplugged before going to sleep and then plugged in when you wake up. Again, that is this coming Tuesday morning between midnight and 2:05 a.m.
Yep.
Make sure you get that set. And now, here's our own Austin Stevens, the Storm Chaser, with the weather update, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook for the latest information. Welcome in, Austin Stevens. Thank you for joining us. What do you know about our weather?
I know it's going to be sunny for the next several days with high temperatures increasing to those mid-90s. So don't leave your children in vehicles. I urge. We got into our truck today and it was very hot, like 100 degrees, and it was only 85 out. Humidity is low. Do not, even though there's not a burn ban in effect, you do not need to burn because today's humidity levels at the Keystone Heights Airport was as low as 22%. Gainesville, 20%, and over in Lake City was also at 25%. Now here's your local forecast. Tonight, temperatures will fall to the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, temperatures will rise to the upper 80s, then fall to the upper 50s to around 60 near the coast, and then rise to the upper 80s to lower 90s, and then by Tuesday, clouds will start coming back in the forecast with highs near the mid-90s. Stay safe and do not burn. Have plenty of water.
All right. How about over in Pascagoula in that area? What do we got there?
Pascagoula, you finally are getting a break from those storms that have been torturing all the tornadoes. Your weather's going to be nice also. I'm not expecting humidity to be as low as it is over here, but we do have high pressure across the southeast United States.
All right. Thank you very much, Austin, for that weather report. And I'm going to let you give us a weather report on the way out as we close out the show. And so make sure that you give us the latest and the greatest. All right, you got some time to research, so make sure you give us the latest and greatest. Thank you, Austin, very much.
See if you can find out what the weather's going to be for next Saturday and Sunday, because I'm planning on going over to St. Augustine.
Oh, by the way, that's been canceled. By the way, that's been canceled. Yeah. Thank you, Austin. And once again, this weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook and get a local forecast sent right to you. Up now is our local report. But before we get to that, Mitchell, I do have a couple of things. I want to welcome in some guests. Yolanda Jones, Austin Stevens, Archie Waters, Yolanda Jones, Melissa Dell, how are you? John Brooks, how are you doing down there in Tampa? Archie Waters, Jim Langley, Marie Zone, Ty Jordan Zone, Coach Steve Ward Zone.
Coach?
Coach is on there. There you go. The White Allen says, good evening, fellow Patriots. Love our Sheriff Gordon Smith.
Brother.
Yep. Listen, Mitchell, your dad does a great job. He used to do my mom's lawn. How about that?
Thank you.
Hey, there you go. Marie says, hello, Sheriff.
Hello.
There you go. Marie wants to know, Byron, where your hat is. I don't know.
I responded to her.
Poor Rocky. There you go. Tommy Reddish says, hey, Gordon's on again.
Hey, worked out in my yard all day. He put a new fence up.
Yeah.
Tommy is, like I say, he's probably the longest serving fenceman around here. with his fence service. And
Right.
you can't ask for anybody to do your fence. If you need fence work done, he's the guy. Him and his family, we've all been friends, lifelong friends.
Right.
And his grandfather and his uncle was long-term sheriffs, almost 50 years in this county, public service. So they come from a long, huge family that hard-working, the backbone of a community kind of family you want.
Right.
And that's Tommy and his family, the Redishes.
Renee Stegall, well, wait a minute, let me go back here. Tommy, Byron Bagwell decided not to wear it tonight. All right, Carmen Jameson, thank you for joining us. Renee Stegall Shaw went to high school with her. Thanks, Austin, for your weather service, she says. Tammy Testone, hello, my favorite guys. John Garner, I went to school with John. John, welcome in from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Austin Stevens says you're welcome. John Probst, Campers great. Hoping to buy a car tomorrow, and I'll be up to visit you guys soon. We'd love to have you. Come on back, brother.
Come on.
Hello, Austin. Great job. Hope to talk to you soon. You be safe and take care. And Mr. Dave Holland, on his way back from the great state of Ohio, he should be back tomorrow night, I guess, right, Dave Holland Jr.?
Ohio.
But wait and say, yeah, he had to go to Ohio.
Worthless nut.
Home of the Westward. Yeah, you
Home of the
got that.
worthless nut. What do you do with a Buckeye?
I don't know. When you figure it out,
Lord, here we go.
when you figure it out, you let me know. Melissa Dell says,
Poisonous.
Yeah.
They call them good
Yeah.
luck. I hadn't figured that out yet either.
yeah, me neither. What's it good luck for?
I hadn't figured that out either.
All right, well, when you do, let me know. Gordon, thank you for posting the 6 Foot Apart song. Love it.
Yeah, it hit me today. I was
Imagine.
as Tommy Reddish and his bunch were doing the fence. I had my earbuds and I was doing a little listening to music, and it just you ever have that song that hits you just at the right time.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard it. It was the first time it come on. So I went back and when it's playing, I said I got to hear that again, and went back and played it 3 or 4 times. Then I made the wife listen to it. I made everybody in the family. I said, it just hit
Good
me
song.
emotionally. I miss. We're getting back together. Together, we're
Yes.
all going to overcome this, but it just hadn't hit me the right time. I like to see my community get back to where it's hurt so many people. I don't want to say harm, but it's affected
Right.
so many in my community, the day-to-day lives of what we do. I miss my liars table. In
Sure.
the morning, I got a lunch
Yeah.
bunch I go with some of the older gentlemen in our community.
Are you still sitting up at the
Hey,
at the drill doing that?
Hey, I still love it, man.
Yeah.
You can't wait
Goodness.
to get lunch. My wife
Yeah.
knows if it's won't you? She says just go eat with the guys because I'm gonna eat there and I'll bring her something home because I just that's where you get information. I'm a sheriff. I get paid to be nosy. I got the best job. I get paid to be nosy. And these are leaders in the community, people that have input, people you listen to. You've got to have people that not yes men, people you work with
Right.
sometimes, but people that tell you the truth. And they tell you the things you need to hear from in the breakfast. I get up early and go to breakfast to when I go to lunch. And I love my wife and I because my schedule my whole life and kids and ball and sports and cheerleading. We've always done a lot of eating out. We're missing our local restaurants. Those people become your friends.
Yep.
And we're still trying to do that. We pick meals. Yeah, we like to say we all cook at home. We do some grilling.
That's
But
right.
we still like to go. We want to support our community.
Yes, we do.
And we try to buy meals. And I'm going to tell you, the local restaurants that have been open and trying to keep them going it's something we've strived to do our part and give bigger tips. I remember I had some gift cards the other day for different restaurants. I went and returned them back and I said, look, give them to people that need it.
Right.
Because I'm fortunate, people as gifts now give cards into the local restaurants is where my favorite are.
Right.
And I just every time I went to those restaurants to get something, I give whatever gift card I had. I said, give this and give this to my wife. That's my wife's idea, by the way. It wasn't mine. But she said, you give them back and tell them to give them to somebody that needs them. And that's what we've done. We're trying to do our part. This is my community. Nobody's going to love it more than me. So that's what we do.
And we just, me and Mr. Byron Bagwell went and picked up some pizza just earlier today, right before we came onto the show from Fun Point over there.
Fun Point.
Man.
Let me tell you what. You're talking about a great. Let's open up that box and look. Both of those pizzas. $20, wasn't it, Byron?
What's one of those?
$20. That guy right there will take care of you. He loves us. He loves our show.
It's a local
It's
family.
local.
They're
Yes.
trying to do
And
something
actually,
great.
Harry
And I love going in
Patel,
there.
Harry Patel was on the night watching us.
He
Yeah,
is, as a matter of
yeah,
fact.
I
He
love-
said he was going to.
I'm
He
probably
said
the
he was
biggest
going
kid.
to.
I use the grandkids as an excuse.
Yeah.
to
To go over there and do
But
that.
I laugh. Hey, let me tell you right now, if I pull out my wallet, y'all think I'm joking. I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. But if you look, I got my card. Look right here. It's right here.
Whoa, you bypassed the senior citizens
Look
card.
right there. Senior citizen.
Yeah, it's right there.
No. You're right. Get the glasses. You need to do all other. But, I mean, I love going. It was just a great. I take the grandbabies and you can even let them play and wear it down, and it's just great for
Hey, so let me tell a little story.
Re-
Let me tell a little story.
Real quick before
All right.
you do that, before
Okay.
we
All right.
lose this.
Okay.
If you live in Bradford County in Stark, You need to go up there and sit next to that meeting that they have every day at Chrissy's when this opens.
Yes.
Some of the best conversations I have ever heard in my life happened at their old store. And I haven't been around one in a long time. That tells you how long it's been. But I used to schedule my lunches around going up there. So
And you better come early. You don't get a seat.
You don't get a seat.
You don't get a seat. And I mean, just if you want to know stuff about what's going on, maybe you just go up there and listen to some of that. Of course,
it's everything local. I mean, it's from national to local
Oh,
sports.
yeah.
We miss sports. I'm missing, the sports. But later on, y'all talk about that.
Yeah, boy. Yes,
Man, I'm missing. I'm not a show person, but I've watched a few binge because I can't sleep. I stay up and being the sheriff's like being a parent. You worry about the decisions you made are the right ones, and everything you do is always critiqued, no matter how small a decision, how big a decision.
How many
But
times
you-
have we hit each other on Facebook at 12, 1 o'clock at night
All the
just
time.
saying, hey, boy, what do we got?
Yeah,
we
what
do it all the
going,
time.
It's, I'm up because people want answers, and now social media, they have another way to reach out to you. They tag you in a comment. You've got to respond to people. And if you don't want to
Yeah.
do that, don't get in the elected official business.
no.
If you don't
absolutely
return
not.
calls, you don't do that. You should be in the
Absolutely
business.
not.
And my staff sometimes says, "Sheriff, this one's mad." That's well, or that's a regular customer, and they said, hey, let's deal with it. Let's get it done. So
Yeah. Go ahead. I used to thoroughly enjoy it, and this is back in the day. There are several people that were part of that group that are no longer with us.
Yeah.
That used to. I mean,
Yeah.
just great conversations. Just about everything, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, y'all was talking about Fun Point, in businesses here in Bradford County. I was really happy to see something that opened up like that here in Stark. They give our youth something to do because,
love it.
we've been without a bowling alley for a very long time, and that's
Yeah.
what a lot of kids used to do.
We
Was
did
go over there and
pinball
bowl.
back then, though. Mitch.
Yeah, pinball, and foosball.
Foosball.
Yeah.
They had video games.
They did.
Just
Yeah.
Pac-Man,
Atari.
Galaga, and Centipede, stuff like that. And people were like, "What is that?"
So let me get this. I got to tell this story. So me and Byron go pick up this pizza, right? So I'm like, Byron, I hear people talking around the corner. So I go around there, he's around there. Byron, where you at? Where you at, Byron?
He's on the game, isn't he?
Byron is going around, walking around like a little kid. I should have gave him a popsicle too. He's looking at all the games, and I'm like, Byron, they're going to be powered up. When he gets powered up.
Orange creamsicle
Yeah. Hey, as soon as he gets fired up,
or an ice cream cone.
where are we going?
We go right.
We're going after the show. We're going over there to play some video games.
That'll work.
Hey, let me tell you what. He's got a ball in there.
Yeah, I know.
Man,
I
I'm telling
got a
you.
regular card that keeps your points and all on. See,
Yeah, right behind that senior citizens card, by the way.
Oh,
I love this
it's
guy.
not the age, it's the mileage. You got to know.
Tommy Reddish, I did want to say something to you. Tommy, hey, we're looking for sponsors. So if you'll send me your information via on the message board or through my messenger or whatever, love to have you as one of our sponsors. We'll promote your business. Absolutely. Me and Tommy Reddish have been friends for a long time too. So Tommy, if you're still on, send me that information and you'll be one of our sponsors as well.
the question from Archie is the what I was going to get to.
Okay, coming right here. Is that the next one? Gordon, since I can't get anybody to check this out, part of the sidewalk collapsed across from the Chevy dealership. Kind of looks like a sinkhole started.
Is it the sidewalk on the same side or right across where the monument?
On the other side, the monument side.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know Mr. John Holman. I'll have him in here Monday for our meeting with the city. I'll make sure that's reported. And they need to look at that. I mean,
Right.
if
It
you
could
get
be
that
a
water
water
line
line.
drain.
Right.
Most times those sinkholes come from a water line that breaks or something, but it does need to be checked out. Archie, I'm making some notes here that we get that done. Report back.
Hey, Dwight, I am so sorry. We were running late. We all had things to do. We was not able to get that chicken dinner. Did you have that tonight from Chrissy's, by the way, or anything?
My wife and him did.
Did they?
They
How
watch
was
him,
it?
They watch him cook. Oh, I didn't get
Yeah,
it.
I was-
How would I know?
How would I know?
But I'm gonna tell you.
Well, is Stephanie on the show? I'd like to know how it was
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
me and Byron and Mitchell feel really bad for not being able to go over there and get that. So I don't know.
It looked great last
It looked
night.
great last night.
I don't know. I'm kind of a rib guy. Just saying, I didn't get no ribs. I'm a little upset. About the three crackers barbecue thing there. I missed out on the ribs.
Yeah, me too.
I did get some good ribs of slicing dice up in Lowell.
Yeah, there you go.
They did a
Okay.
good job. Stephanie
Okay.
got some. We did that. They do some things there. But I'm gonna tell you, our local people. Let me tell you, Dwight and them.
Oh yeah,
I'm
dude.
jealous of the grill, man.
Me too. Me too.
He ought to set his friends aside something. I'm just
Just kind of throwing that out there.
So I'm kind of throwing that out there, Dwight Allen, if you're listening.
I know nothing.
No, now you're back in our
I see where we stand.
You know, guys,
He did this all night too.
yes, he did.
Lord.
This
2 o'clock.
this
He
one
got up
right-
at 2
I just
o'clock.
got a message from him at 5 something this morning.
Yeah.
This one right here. This is why we do the show right here. Probably out of all the times this is the one comment that
comment,
really
yeah.
hit me. Hey, David, my 4-year-old autistic son loves to watch your show. He won't take his eyes off my phone till you're done. And he smiles the biggest. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. He loves you.
Aww.
You're welcome.
That's what it's all
This
about.
is what it's all about. Right? That right there. I'm
What's his
probably
name?
gonna
What's
tear
his
up right.
name?
Yes, please tell me his name.
We need a shout out.
Yeah, we definitely going to give him a shout out. This is why we do the show, Tammy. That kind of comment right there. Wow. I want to tear up a little bit, Gordon.
That's what it's about, baby. It's home. And the people that follow you, you got people that love to follow and watch it. We
Yeah.
get the local stuff. And I can't thank y'all enough taking your time each day and coming to the spot.
Yeah.
You keep people informed. And we
Yeah,
don't have
we
them.
love it.
We're not Jacksonville. We're not Gainesville. People are able to get the surrounding, the Lake
Yeah.
Butler, Keystone. We get left out a lot of times. And your viewership just keeps growing.
Right.
And people are following, and they can ask questions. They can interact with you.
Sure.
You can't do that with News 4 Jacks.
No, you
do that
can't.
with TV 20. You can't do it with all those locals. You get news one way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like when you get the news going both ways. You can answer. People can ask questions.
Yeah.
And like, we have people on here like Eric Todd that
Yes.
lives out in Phoenix, Arizona now.
Yeah.
Raised right here in Bradford. He's watching this afternoon.
Oh yeah. Got
So,
brother-
it
Chuck
gives-
and Z are watching too.
Right. It gives people who live here in Bradford County a chance to check up what's going on
their loved ones
in
still
their
here.
community.
They got
and
loved ones still
right.
here.
So,
Yeah. And this is their home all the time. So thank you for that. That probably is the best comment I've in my 2.5 years doing this here.
It's a great
Wow,
one.
I tell you,
It's
that
a great
really that hits home right there. That really
I knew
does.
that was what was going to happen. When she
Yeah, I
did that.
was. Mitchell showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, that one's going to hit home." Great local news for our community. Thank you. That's Dorothy Charlotte.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So-
the best smelling hand sanitizer I've ever
Yeah,
smelled.
you
in my
ain't
life.
kidding. Jeff Riggins is watching from Lake City. Jeff, thank you for joining us
drink
in.
it.
So I've gotten to all the comments and all of our viewers. If I didn't get to you, your own and your name's not there, thank you for joining in on the spot with David Rodgers.
Roll
To
the
my
dice.
left is Mr. Byron Bagwell. To my other left right here is our very own Bradford County's finest right here, Sheriff Gordon Smith. To my right here is our local man. He's supposed to give us that local report, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Back behind the scenes, filling in for his dad tonight. And by the way, Dave Holland Jr., you've done a great job both days filling in for your dad. I can't thank you enough, man. Time out of your day as well.
Now you're gonna fire
to come
Dave?
in.
That's what I was going
I
to
didn't
say.
say that, Dave Holland. I didn't say that. So look at Dave Holland Jr. back there smiling. Fired. Dave's always busy. Hey, talking about carpentry work, that man can do it right there. Hey, he's really, yeah. You're involved in all kinds of things, Dave, aren't you? You
Yeah.
do carpentry, automotive, right?
A little bit of automotive,
Right.
painting, carpentry, remodeling, just
Right.
home restoration,
So
foundations.
you're looking for some side work? Hey, put
Always.
yourself out there. Put
Always.
yourself out there, Dave. Put yourself out there. I'm
My
gonna
name's
get this
Dave
done.
Holland, looking for side work. My number is 513-525-7057. If you want professional work, quality work, give me a call.
There you go, Dave. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Albie.
Mr. Austin Stevens. Yes.
Albie.
Albie. Albie is his name?
Yes.
Okay.
Albie said, "Love you, David."
Albie, I'm going to tell you something right here. I love you. And I tell you, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You just don't throw those words out there. You don't throw words out there like that. And all of our staff right here love you as well and love your mom. So,
Big thumbs up to Albie.
big
man. I'm
time.
telling you,
Albie, I'm going to give you a shout out each time.
Yeah,
Albie,
yeah.
I love you. Love you, Albie.
That's
Thank
it.
you for watching. And Tammy, thank you for watching as
Well,
well.
an opportunity, Gordon, for
So-
all the stuff straight off the spoken.
Yeah. Oh, did he give us a thumbs up? Did he?
Read the comment.
Oh, okay. I'm ready for Byron Bagwell to have his house warming party. Y'all are fired up and y'all can eat right off the smoker. Hey, it's cut, baby. It's ready. When are we going to do
Plenty
it?
of space right in front of us.
Right. Hey, and we can do the show from there.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
Man, Blake, I told you. We told you. Remember when we was over there cutting it last week? I'm telling you. Man, that's some good. Have you seen this place yet?
No.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to tell you, Gordon. He got a great deal off that
I know
place.
you're on that. Really, I've never seen it.
Yes.
I stopped by those.
How many times have you dropped the line in the water yet?
He's dropped it a few times.
6 or 7 times.
Yeah. Caught a couple of nice ones, didn't you?
Decent ones.
Yeah.
Haven't caught anything big
Yeah.
out of it yet, but
They're waiting.
that's typical this time of year.
Yeah, and here we go, Gordon. You almost got me in trouble. But Charles Zipper is watching for Lake Butler. Dave Holland says, yeah, hey, guys, I'm watching. Hey, I didn't. Are you Gordon?
He's not driving and watching, is he?
No. He's over in Chattanooga somewhere in a motel.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's good to go.
Chattanooga.
That's what he's doing.
Chattanooga.
But anyway, welcome in. Up now is our local report with the all-knowing Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Brought to you by tonight, Miracle Automotive Recovery in Stark and McClinney. When you have an automotive crisis, don't pray for a miracle. Call a miracle at 904-368-1114. Welcome in, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. What's going on with you this Saturday night?
The first thing is a pretty sad
Thank God
situation.
you took that hat off.
Hey, this is the best hat ever. Right?
Yeah, to put in a fire pit.
America's team right
To
here.
put in a fire pit.
What in a fire pit? What is the matter with you?
I forgot you're a Dallas Cowboy fan too, aren't you? Me and
Yes,
Gordon.
my
You
is.
like the guys?
No, I'm
That's
a
my
Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Oh, okay. I
That's
got you.
my
I'm a
Eagles
Jaguars
team.
fan and a Miami fan.
I'll tell you. Ooh.
Miami still got football?
I think so. I'm getting
After
into
that
it.
draft they had, if they had players,
You gotta go to pay him first.
draft was
Fine.
That's a great draft.
All right, I've got some sad news coming out of Clay County. Clay County deputy sheriff has been arrested for alleged sexual relationships with a minor, according to the Green Coast Springs Police Department. The police office received a call from the mother of a 15-year-old female. The call took place on Tuesday at 10:42 a.m., reporting the alleged sexual intercourse between the 34-year-old male, Travis Pritchard, and the 15-year-old female. They were able to obtain information and observe evidence from the victim's cell phone. Pritchard was arrested while on duty Saturday at 2:52 a.m. by the Green Coast Springs Police Department, shortly after attempting to meet the victim to engage in sexual activity, according to the police. During an investigation, it was revealed that Pritchard may have inappropriate contact with other underage females. So that is still going to be under investigation for quite some time.
Gordon, do you know anything about that?
I don't. I read it this afternoon, read through the news feed, seen it. That's just very discouraging. It's disheartening. It's a slap in the face to all the men and women who bravely serve each and every day.
Exactly.
Thank you for
And
saying
and
that.
And as somebody that knows better, I have no sympathy for. And if they're found guilty by a jury of their peers, they ought to receive a more harsh punishment because they have a public trust, and when you break that public trust, you should be held to a higher standard.
I agree.
There should be plea deals. There's no excuse, none. You can't justify any of that at all. I don't care how people say, "Oh, he was a great guy." No, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
There's something wrong. And outside exterior, he may have been, but inside there was a demon.
Right.
That's right.
I'm about to say that.
And you got to hold yourself accountable.
To
You
pray
You can't.
on-
There's nothing what you do there when you pray on children.
Yeah,
you
that's-
can't justify it in any kind of shape, form, or fashion.
This is
Not at
something
all.
that affects not just everybody. It affects everybody. It really does affect everybody. People, it doesn't matter whether they're sheriff's deputies or lawyers or bakers or whatever.
Right.
You don't mess with children.
You don't mess with children, but you're going to find people from all walks of life that do that. And Gordon's right. If you're in law enforcement or if you're in service,
You're held to a higher standard.
you should be held to
Yeah.
a higher
That's
standard.
public trust.
Yeah.
You take an oath.
Yes, you
You're
do.
held to public trust, and if proven, everybody's in it until proven guilty. I know the facts of the case.
Right.
But when his day of justice comes, and
Right.
he's found guilty by a jury of his peers, we don't have a perfect system in the United States. We have the best system
Right.
That's right.
by far, and he'll get his day in court. And if found guilty, he needs to be held to a higher standard. He needs to be receive a more harsh punishment because he broke that.
And I believe that the judge will hand down
We can
a
only hope.
harsher
We can only hope.
punishment.
All right. What else you got for us,
All
Mitchell?
right, guess what?
What?
Guess what this week is?
What is this?
Hurricane preparedness.
Hurricane preparedness.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So, want
Austin
to
Stevens,
let
come on in here a minute.
let everybody know this is Hurricane Preparedness Week,
We'll just
and this is the time of year for you to go out and test your generators. Don't wait till it's right at the time, 2 or 3 days before this hurricane's going to hit you or a tropical storm. Make sure that generator is well taken care of and maintenance. Also, you can sit down with your family and start making out plans, especially if you live in low-lying areas or if you have a bunch of trees around your house or you live in a trailer. Sit down and figure out where you're going to go now, so you don't have to try to do it in 2-3 days to try to figure out what route that you're going to take and go. So, make those evacuation plans ahead of time.
Great call.
Don't wait to the last minute.
I want to ask Mitchell. I want to ask Austin. Austin, I know you've been studying this hurricane thing. I know you've been studying for weeks. We've talked a little bit. I know you're going to be working with the sheriff's department a little bit when all this comes down the pipe. Sheriff back there shaking his head. Tell us what you know right now. Some of the models, some of the predictions of maybe how many hurricanes are going to be around, how many may be coming out of the Atlantic, Pacific Oceans, that type of thing there, if you know that.
Well, we are going into a type of season where the Atlantic will be, this season of hurricane season, the Atlantic Ocean will be more active.
Right.
Versus the Pacific. Pacific will be the quieter ocean. As the Gulf of Mexico right now, out over Tampa Bay waters, out 20 nautical miles on those buoys, temperatures are as warm as 88 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And the
big time favorable, right?
From the Florida Straits down past Cuba, down into the Caribbean Sea. If we didn't have wind shear is what tears apart hurricanes, atmospheric winds. If we didn't have that, we literally would be having a Cat 5 hurricane on our hands. With barometric pressure as low as 880 millibars. It equals to about 26.4 inches of mercury. So this season, normally on average, it's about 6 hurricanes, 6 tropical storms and hurricanes, and with like 2 or 3 major ones on average for the Atlantic Basin. They're predicting 8. So we're going to have a higher than average season.
Now, when you say 8, that's 8 named tropical storms and hurricanes, or 8 named hurricanes? Well,
that's like 8 named hurricanes. 8
Okay.
named hurricanes.
Okay.
And I'm expecting 14 named tropical storms on top of that, as how favorable the oceans are right now, and the wind shear right now is actually starting to die down early. So this is going to be a busy season, not just for me, for the Hurricane Center down in Miami.
Right.
And I encourage everyone to join the Austin Weather Service Hurricane Center, where you'll be getting live data this year. There will not be no delay. There will not be no filtering. You'll get live modeled data as it comes out. Partnered by your very own Sheriff Gordon Smith.
Well, I want to follow up on that, Austin. Just because hurricane season starts in June, that does not mean that we cannot get a storm before then in the month of May. It's happened before.
It's happened in April before.
That's correct. So, it can happen at any moment. Something can start to develop.
You know what he said?
With
those favorable conditions.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? 88-degree temperatures out there 20 miles off the coast of Tampa, right?
Off Tampa and out on the Florida Straits, it's as high as 90. And out past Puerto Rico, I know they got hit with that hurricane, and then so did the Bahamas.
Right.
But I'm saying it now. There may be another one. I don't want it happening.
Right.
No one does.
No.
But it's probably going to happen. I'm knocking on wood that it does not happen. But we got to prepare. It's always best to be prepared. Not alarm. Don't panic if we got one coming. Just know your plan and get ready in case if it does happen.
I'd like to order one of those tropical storms parked over the top of Keystone for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Will you be quiet? You're making me have more work.
Thank you, Austin. I appreciate it.
Park it right up there. That way my lake will fill the rest of the way up.
Talking about hurricane preparedness, Austin, actually, me and my neighbor, Mr. Wooten, he lives right behind my house. We had some tall pine trees, about 50 and 60 foot tall, and we got together and we had all those pine trees cut down a few months ago in preparation of getting ready for hurricane season. Because even though they have a long tap root, with high winds, because you can get downforce winds, and they will snap them.
Yes, it
and
will.
neither one of us want them on our house, so we went in together and had all the trees cut down.
That's good. And another thing I've noticed with the way the tornado season has been, with
Right.
it being this bad along the Gulf Coast, from Texas up to Florida, anyone along that coast, get prepared. As like I said, models are suggesting that we may have another repeat of Andrew. We may. And I'm not saying it will happen. This is technology versus.
This is all predictable data right now,
Yes.
right? Yes. So
This is just what goes on behind the scenes of what is going to happen. What can we look for, and we hope that models are being inaccurate right now.
Right. Always prepare for the worst and
Thank
hope
you,
for the
Austin.
best.
Austin, thank you very much for that. Austin, I'll tell you what's right on in there.
Wisdom way beyond his years, I can promise you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you like it? And fun.
There we go. Thank
Okay. Also this week, the Bradford High School seniors received public recognition with displays on the fence outside of the Bradford High School. And I'll tell you what, I want to thank our sheriff, Gordon Smith, Stacy Creighton, Superintendent of Schools, and our resource officer deputy, and many other staff members that took the time to put those displays out there on the fence, especially in a time that we are going through with this COVID-19 pandemic, and trying to brighten their days a little bit.
It was pretty neat. I didn't understand. Of course, my son-in-law is the assistant principal of high school, and he was talking about it. I said, "Oh, man, you need to do this." And of course, I said, "How are you going to know if you got enough fence?" Of course, he's a math teacher.
Right.
He said, "I measured it, and in between the 8 goes in between each one of the big, the brick posts."
I knew he was
I
up there.
said, "How did you? Are you sure this is going to work out?" Because in my head, I just couldn't get the math right.
Right.
I've already measured. I did the distance, and I'm going to tell you. But the teachers and all that volunteered, the administration from Miss Creighton herself, who stood up and said, "We're going to do it." I mean, she kind of took a driving force, and now parents can go and get one printed. A Showcase really did a good job with those.
Yeah.
And then the zip ties, the idea with that versus sticking them in the ground and cutting holes through them. I said, put a little hole through a little zip tie. They didn't want to do that. No, that's not. So they used the actual stakes to use the pressure to keep them from blowing away because it was windy that day.
Right.
We were trying to keep them out of the highway, but it really was a big hit. To see all those kids, it really turned out nice.
I want to thank the Pattersons really quick as well. They've been around this community a long time. Gordon, you've known them a long time. And they do a wonderful job over there at Showcase. Hey, you need something done, go over there and see those guys.
Hey.
They do a great job.
Every time that I do a community event, a car show for a nonprofit organization, I always use them to make my plaques, and they've always done a great job. I just turn it over to Trent. I tell Trent what I want.
Yeah.
Trent does all the artwork, and it always comes out perfect every time.
Frank, from his daddy Frank and his lovely wife all the way down, man, they've got a great family business going.
They do.
And I think some of it is a true family business. So thank you for what they do as well.
Definitely. Oh, and also want to let everybody know that all county offices in Bradford County will reopen on Monday. So they will be able to start doing business as normal. There will be some restrictions, as I think, only 10 people.
Yeah, they're going to do it. They've spent some time putting splash guards up.
Right.
Which, in modern buildings and now you go into, a lot of that's already designed in.
That's it.
When I first took over as sheriff, the windows were all open. We tried to have that open appearance, and
Right.
we had to do things to protect. So we've got a lot of that already done.
Right.
We've got one place here in code enforcement to do a little bit of that. But we're just trying. That's something that'll probably stay. Once it's there, it may wind up being staying in
Sure.
the future. It'll help with everything else.
Yeah, well.
But we've just always tried to be open. We're a loving community. We try to have access, and people have that. But they're taking all the steps. They have really cleaned the courthouse from top to bottom.
Wow.
The constitutional officers, all the officers in the courthouse have been able to access their people a little differently.
Right.
But they're missing it. I can tell you. All
Oh,
the
sure.
staff, they're wanting to get back to seeing the public. That's what they do best.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait till they open back up on Monday because I got to apply for my concealed carry.
That's right.
So I couldn't do that until they open back up.
Right.
So I'm really happy about that. So I can get that taken care of and exercise my Second Amendment right.
Absolutely, and I can tell you, like driver's license, people have been worried about their driver's license. We've had executive memos come down from the governor, say if they expire between this date and this date, we can't enforce, writing them a ticket for that. A lot of people have been concerned. I can tell you the governor, haven't agreed with him through this whole process, but he's done a good job. I'm not at that level I deal with the local level, but he's really done some good things. When people call up concerned, I can tell you the Sheriff's Association is strong. We call our lobby people, say, this is an issue. What do we do about people with their license expiring? My neighbors, I got to get in them. They're concerned about it, but they made that exception, and they're going to be able to give them some time to reapply. So we're not charging with driving with the expired driver's license. That's been out to all the law enforcement, police departments have received that information, and your tags and stuff. They've been. Most people, we're all in the same boat together.
Of course.
Well, I tell you what, I called Miss Teresa. It was on Thursday, and I said, you know what? I've made a mistake. And she says, what's that, Mitchell? I says, I forgot to pick up my sticker for my tag. Your birthday was the 21st. I says, I know. It totally slipped my mind with all this COVID-19 stuff going on. I said, it slipped my mind. She says, I tell you what. She says, give us a call, and we'll take care of it. So I drove up in the parking lot. I called in. I gave them a tag number. They looked it up. They printed it out. The lady goes, well, how much money are you giving me? I says, I'm giving you $50. She says, okay, and I'll bring you out your new sticker and your change. And I tell you what, it worked just as smoothly as if I walked in.
Service.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. For your driver's license.
It was wonderful.
Hey, Mitchell, before you get into the next story, can I catch up a couple of comments here real quick? Marie said, there's nothing wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. Archie Waters says, the Dallas Cowboys won't get sick from the virus. They can't catch anything. Stuart Roberts, thank you for watching. I agree with him. Jeff Riggins, I'm not sure what you mean in here, brother. Did I tell you I used to date a semi? No, I know you didn't. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I want to know either. Austin has only weather, I believe. Great group there tonight. Love our sheriff. All the hoarders, Dwight Allen. All the hoarders should be prepared for hurricane season. Maybe the rest of us will be able to buy things if a storm is coming. Oh, Dwight Allen. I've got to go see Dwight tomorrow. I need to go pick up my deer meat anyway. I may have to go see Dwight. Yeah, I may have to do that. Ralph, thank you for joining us. Dorothy Starling. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, May 10th. Remember and honor our wonderful mothers. You got that right. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Austin, I want to thank you so much for your knowledge of the weather. You do a great job, and you explain it better than the regular TV guys. How about a compliment there?
Thank you.
I was out today. It's going to be a BBB day. I guess big barbecue birthday day, Riggins says. Tammy Testone, thank you for all saying Albie's name. That was like Christmas for him. He said my name over and over. Well, welcome in, Albie. How about that? Right. And Tammy, how about that? Huh? I hope you're still watching. David Howe. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. Jeff may have had maybe too many alcoholic beverages.
Cold beers?
Cold. I don't know. I bet. Let's see. Thank you, Tammy. We try to be. Tim Lee's watching. Dwight Allen smoked 144 chickens this morning. Yeah, we seen him at 5 o'clock this morning, Dwight. Jason Vox says, Sarge, need that CC too.
Can still carry.
Yep. Austin Weather Service. As of May 1, 2020, Austin's Weather Service is looking for volunteers. Message the page for the latest. Mark Udi, Jeff Udi's brother. How's it going? He said crown. Yeah, I bet. All right. Caught up with the comments? Go ahead, Mitchell. I'm sorry. Just want to catch those up.
I just want to also talk about ATVs.
Yeah.
A lot of people in our county own them.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of kids that are riding them, even in my neighborhood and other areas. And I guess what I see them riding without?
A helmet.
No helmet.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that is the most important thing that your child should put on before they get on the ATV. Because, they may tell you they're going to stay on the dirt road, but I guarantee you somewhere down the road they're going to wander on that hard way, and they fall off and they hit their head. It's not a pretty picture for your child or for your family. So
this man probably can attest to that. I don't know how many of them you rode up on, huh, brother?
A bunch.
Yeah, and so not even children should just wear them, but also adults, because here lately,
we've had this COVID thing. We've had a lot of people outdoors, and we've had several ATV side-by-side accidents.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I can go to maybe one, maybe possibly a second one. I don't recall, but the majority of what I've been to have been grown people. Grown people acting like children.
Yep.
In regards to it, and I'm guilty. I like to get. I'm a fun kind of guy.
Sure.
I'm a risk taker, but we just got to be mindful with our surroundings and where we're at. But if you can practice safe, it's just as cool to have a helmet on as it is not to have a helmet on.
Right.
And also, you know, watch out what type of clothing you're wearing. You know, wear clothing that's going to cover you really well.
Right.
That way you don't get road rash. You can get road rash off of a Lime Rock Road.
Promise
You know, you don't have to be on the asphalt road to
you
get
get on
it.
the dirt road.
I
Promise.
was going to say, I can promise you that.
So, you know, make sure that, you know, ladies don't go out there riding around with bikini tops on and a pair of shorts. Because I tell you, if you fall off, it ain't going to be pretty. You won't be pretty no more. You won't be wearing that bikini top no more after you fall off of there. I can promise you that. Also, I'm going to dive into Alachua County real quick. Alachua County's doing their stuff a little bit different than majority of other counties. The county commissioner voted in favor of mandatory face coverings. And this is for anybody. It doesn't matter if you work in retail or you are someone that's walking into a store. They want mandatory face coverings for everybody. And what they're doing, they are adopting the emergency order that Dade and Miami have, the 2020 order. And it states that persons working in or visiting grocery stores, restaurants, pharmacy, construction sites, public transportation vehicles, vehicles for hire such as Uber, and even in locations where social distancing cannot take place, you know, it's impossible. They want everybody to wear a face mask. You know, and the thing is, I'm scratching my head here, Sheriff, and you probably heard it too, but, you know, it says wear a face mask in restaurants. You know,
How you gonna eat?
exactly.
You got to cut a slit in the mouth there. Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Well, I can tell you
see.
this: it appears that Alachua County wants you to wear a blindfold also. That way you can't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
good.
That's Sheriff. Let me.
that whole entire county's commission's done that
Hey,
for
I
years.
want to reply to that a little bit.
Yeah. You know,
Sheriff,
it's
and Byron, I've told Byron this too, Mitchell. Y'all hear me take, I breathe through my mouth quite a bit.
No.
So. No. That was a good one, Sheriff. Hey, give me a little update. There you go. Oh my goodness. But anyway, when I wear one of those things, to me it feels suffocating.
Well, I can tell you, I was just in the.
I mean, I
store.
will if I have to in a certain area.
Had a
But
gentleman in his probably early 80s was sitting there doing fine and got at the line to check out. He said, "I've got to sit down." The mask, I actually had to take his mask and remove it.
Wow.
And people, because he's having a hard time. People don't understand that some people struggle to breathe through that. Remember,
Right.
wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
Right.
Don't touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth. You can contaminate a bunch of people, but if you don't put it here, you're not going to get it.
Right.
That's the
Right.
conception.
That is right.
Hence the
Yes.
mask. But I can tell you that most people wear the mask improperly. Or they do this to do something. The minute you do this with it, you just, your fingers, no, you just beat
that
the,
everything
you see
Yes.
him driving along in a car with a mask on, like, hello.
died.
Yeah.
Make sense at all.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
see him
see
keep wearing it after this thing's over. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm telling
Well,
you
some of these places you may not want us.
you get some people, individual governments that want to, they don't care what the rules are. They want to appear that they're doing more than what they should. And I don't know why that is. We get that in government sometimes. Sometimes we have to be careful
Right.
that we want to do that. And I don't know if it's a feel-good thing and they're making themselves feel good, but are they really doing anything better to really serve the public that elected them into office? Is what's gonna be my-
Right.
right.
Yeah.
You know, this order is going to go into effect at midnight on Monday,
I don't
the
watch.
same time as the governor's order for phase 1 takes place. So what they're doing, they're making their rules stricter than what
Bunch
the
of
governor
darn communists.
is doing. So, you know, the thing is, we got to get this country back up and going. We know this virus can be contained a whole lot easier than what we first thought. Every day's a learning process. We're getting better. Even our cases here in Bradford County is up to 48 cases. They've actually was speeding up for a while. Now they're starting to slow down, and we're getting a case here every once in a while. And the reason for that is, guess what we're doing? We're testing more people.
Yes.
Did you,
So
I'll
you're
give you a
gonna have
tidbit of
that.
information. You know, we meet with the Department of Health every day, and we have 3 meetings a week with them. Bradford County, I'll repeat this several times during the show. Bradford County currently per capita is the second most tested county in the state. And we're setting up things that will be coming here next week. You'll see where they'll start doing some drive-through testing. It's getting arranged. Our emergency management division was able to obtain a bunch of tests.
Right.
Working with Miss Creighton at the school is going to use one of the schools as a drive-through system because they've already got covers that people can drive through, never leave their car. It'll be one test per window. So if you got 4 windows in your car, you can have 4 people set through. If you think you need to be tested or want to be tested, they're getting those arrangements made. They will be publishing that and advertising it. They're going to start with public safety first.
Right.
You know, which could affect us. If I get people to test, they may be asymptomatic, but test positive. So it's a risk we're taking, but we want to know.
Correct. Of
People that
course.
work there working want to know they have the right. So they're going to open it up. Miss Amy Johns is adamant. She wants to be number 1. We want to test more people per capita for our population. The only one ahead of us right now is Miami.
Right.
And we're number 2. We have done a bunch, hence numbers. Now,
Right.
and I want to explain that. When it says 10 hospitalizations, I can tell you that there's not 10 people hospitalized at the current moment.
That's correct.
That's
That's
how many
correct.
people who have ever been hospitalized. 2 of those are contributing to the deaths.
Right.
So when you look at that percentage-wise, and you can see the graph is actually leveled out. We have flattened the curve. But in Bradford County, we have done well. People say, we want to know how many's been tested. The governors and his staff has really worked well to get the dashboard. We're ahead of a lot of other states. And in a minute, I'll get to share some exciting news what our county's doing. We're in a different direction than Alachua County.
Exactly.
I can promise.
You know, like we talk about our retail stores. Now, this is Alachua County. They said they're going to change the occupancy of their buildings to only 1 person for every 750 square feet per retail store. Instead of, yes, 1 person for every. No, I'm sorry, I've got that wrong. It's 1 person for every 500 square feet. The old rule was 1 person for every 750 square feet.
Okay.
So they're even making it more stricter than what they originally had. So 1 person for every 500 square foot, and that's going to hurt the retailers still.
You know,
Yeah, there is.
There's a reason I call it the People's Republic.
they're not in the bug killing business. They're in the business killing business.
Right.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
yeah.
that's they're looking out. They're trying to do a feel good thing, and I get it. They're elected by the people that keep putting them there. So that's the people that elect them. That's on the Alachua County. Now that doesn't represent, but you have a lot of college age. And what I'd have voted for at 18 is not what I'd have voted for at 40. You know?
Right, of course.
Just sort of seeps
And that's
out
the
of that
community.
crazy college. And
Well,
just
you know what,
affects
sure.
everybody.
Even though they're only allowing 1 person for every 500 square foot, you know what that's going to do? Everybody's going to be standing behind each other outside the store waiting to get in.
It is all the time.
So, are you
Yeah.
really defeating it by making that strict rule? No, you're not.
No,
Everybody's
you're
still
not.
going to be in a line outside
You
waiting
got
to go into Hobby Lobby or Michael's or
Well, they just-
any of your other places.
When they close businesses down, they'll just vote more taxes on the people so they can cover it. So they can pay some more
Right,
people
that's
welfare
exactly-
and everything else. And they'll be perfectly happy about it because that's their political flaws.
Well, I know they're going to start in their offices. I believe on Wednesday that every employee that goes to work will have to be screened and shot with the thermometer, make sure their temperature was
Right.
right. My
No,
thing was, why haven't they been doing
Doing
that
that
all
all
along?
along.
We've been doing
With
that
all
all
the
We've been doing it a long time, right?
with
Yes.
all the
A long
essential
time.
with all the essential employees that work for the county. Why weren't they already doing that?
I don't know.
Before I forget to say this, I've said this before. We were just talking about people wearing masks in cars. If you have a pair of gloves on and you have a mask on, before you touch your car, any part of it, take those gloves off. Pull one glove off with the other, inside out. Take the inside of that glove, touch the bottom part of your other glove, and pull it off inside out. Throw it in the garbage can.
Yes.
Not in the parking lot.
Not in the
Exactly.
parking lot.
Or not in the shopping cart.
Take your mask by the strings if you have an elastic band mask, or if you've got tie down material. Take it off. Do not touch the front of that mask. Get you a Ziploc gallon plastic bag. Drop that mask in that Ziploc gallon bag. Close it. Then open your door.
Exactly.
You're not contaminating your car door handle. You're not contaminating any part of your car. So, look, if you're going to take these precautions, there's no reason to not understand that when you actually go in someplace, you're collecting germs on the outside of all of that.
Right.
And if you're really trying to be safe from this, you need to understand you can't touch your car door handle. You can't touch your steering wheel. You can't touch your keys. You can't touch your cell phone before you take that stuff off. Because if you do, you're defeating your purpose. Because as soon as you grab the cell phone and go,
That's it.
you contaminated yourself from the gloves and your cell phone onto your face.
And I tell you, like we talked, I think it was Saturday or last Saturday. Was it
Saturday.
about what I seen in Walmart. I seen a lady had a child in the buggy. She's got her mask on, got gloves. The child was too small to wear a mask, so I understand why. Because any child of 2 years and under, you're not supposed to put a mask on them. So anyway, the child opens up some crackers. Okay, child reaches in there, grabs a cracker out, and he's eating it. No big deal. Well, the lady who's got the gloves on, she's pushing the buggy. She, with her glove, goes into the bag of crackers,
and yes,
pulls out the cracker and eats it. And I'm like,
Habits are hard to
there's
break.
a problem right
Habits
here.
are hard to break. Sometimes it's spontaneous.
It
habits
is.
People have.
It
That's
is.
it.
They don't have the intent to do that. It's just we're spontaneous.
It's
I'm
so
using my
used to
eyes to
doing it.
focus on my glasses. And
I am so glad there is such a small percentage chance of people catching this with stories. I've
right.
seen and things.
Yeah, of course.
Because if it really was something that was really, really contagious that people had a really bad problem with, some of the things I've seen people do, it was just crazy.
Half the population be contaminated. I do
Okay,
want to get to a couple of
I
comments.
do want to address this.
Oh, I got
Sorry about the great minds think alike.
Go ahead,
I
David.
got one thing locally.
Okay.
And then I'm done.
All right.
Well, let everybody know, if you're tired of sitting at home, starting on May the 15th, Gainesville Raceway will be opening back up for their test and tune, and they will start running their ET bracket races on the 24th and 25th. I think that's the Saturday and Sunday in May. They're getting back, and it's still
Finally
so
some
far,
sports.
still on the go for June the 5th, as far as I know of, for the Gator Nationals to come back.
Yeah.
If perhaps we have a hurricane or some other reason Washington County won't let them hold it there for June, it will be rescheduled in September. But you know what? I'd rather go to it in September than
be like
June.
Well, and I'll tell you this,
but-
Mitchell, and I'll tell you this right on that. Put it on that note there. It sounds like they're not giving up on this. They're not canceling this thing at all. They're just going to keep postponing it. They want to have it,
right?
and they're going to have it
And
at some point.
They're cutting back a bunch of races in their
I'm sure.
season. They're having to. They're doing away with their whole points run at the end of the year for the championship. You know how you get the 10 races
Yes.
for the champion. They're doing away with that, and they're just going to base it off of points for this year, so they can try to get the season in. They're not going to run Atlanta. That's totally canceled.
Right.
So what they done was canceling Atlanta. They're still going to let the sportsman racers come back in June to race at the Gator Nationals, so those guys can get their points for their season. So
Well, that's
it's hopefully they get the run in June. I know they're really anxious. I've been watching a lot of videos of all the teams and stuff, and talking to a few folks. They're ready to race. They're tired of being cooped up,
Yeah.
and they're having to service these vehicles, even though they're not running.
Yeah, they gotta keep-
those
yeah,
vehicles have to keep
to
on
maintain,
working, service.
yeah.
And they probably have this thing in their head. I mean, I know they got people that work on the vehicles in the pits or in the garages, and you can socially distance yourself in a garage,
Right.
Right.
and the drivers don't have to worry about socially distancing themselves because they're in a fire suit and a helmet.
Helmet.
Right.
Which
And it's-
makes no sense at all to me that they're shutting that type of thing down. I mean, without fans wouldn't be the greatest things in the world, but you can still.
Well,
We
they
may
plan-
have
they
football,
plan on-
baseball, basketball. We're
they
going to
plan
get into
on
that
the-
without fans anyway.
They plan
So-
on having the seats filled at the Gator Nationals when it comes back in June, and everybody who wants to have access to the pits can have access to the pits. They're not shutting that down.
Really?
So yeah, they
need to-
want to go on.
They need to.
Now, and here's where the problem is going to come in. Alachua County. Is
That's
Alachua
right.
County going to let them do it?
Exactly.
I wonder, is it?
And I tell you, Alachua County plays around with this thing too big.
They'll pull it out of
They
here.
say we own the track.
That's correct.
We'll just take them and we'll start running them in Orlando.
No, that's exact. I was just gonna say.
Or we'll buy up, start racing down to West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
they don't want to screw up that because they
No.
make as much money off of that one event than what they do
Wouldn't
for
you
the
tell me-
whole season of the Gators playing.
Would you tell me they make in that one weekend how many millions of
Oh
dollars?
man, it's up there. I forgot what I told you, but it's way up there.
Lots of money.
You know, because you're talking motels, you're talking about people eating at restaurants.
Yes.
You're talking about people trying to find
Retail
other things
stores.
to do after the
Everything.
Gator Nationals.
Yep.
They go to the bowling alleys. They go to the movie theaters
Yep.
that night. You know, since they're racing
Right.
that night. So you know, Alachua County takes in a lot of revenue from that. You know, and speaking of them coming back in June, I talked to Jerry Savoy. He runs Pro Stock Motorcycle, and I says, you know, I know this is going to change a lot how y'all approach it because it's going to be a whole lot hotter. The track's going to be more slick. And he says, I love a hot, slick track. He says, me and my tuner, we love running on tracks when they're hot. So sometimes it's a good thing for some people because they know how to prepare for it than others.
Sure.
So, but I hope it goes back. I'm ready to go. I got tickets sitting on my counter.
You're ready.
He's ready to go. I think we're all ready to go.
Yeah, we are.
I mean-
and again, Mitchell, thanks again for that wonderful report. We really appreciate it. My name is David Rodgers, your host for On the Spot. Let me introduce the team real quick and get to some comments, and then we'll get over to Mr. Bagwell and our sheriff, and we'll get into some sports. Mr. Austin Stevens with the weather report. Mr. Dave Holland Jr. filling in for his dad. Dave Holland Sr., by the way, Dave, you're doing a great job. Mr. Byron Bagwell, you'll hear his segment coming up here in just a second. We got Sheriff Gordon Smith right here. To my right, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, what you just heard. And off special assignment, our director, the Dragon Slayer, is back. So he's here with us right now. I think he just ate my slices of pizza, but that's all right. I'll talk to him about that just a little bit later. Let me get to some comments here real quick. Yes, I will come pick that up, Mr. Dwight Allen. And Marie, yes, I'll share with you. Noah, yes, thank you for joining us. Dwight Allen said he ain't wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Dwight Allen said those Alachua County's run by idiots. Hi, Sheriff Gordon. That's right after that. How about that? How does that correlate?
I can tell you the ones from the city of Gainesville are. Now stop.
Overwearing the mask can be
I'll leave
harmful to
that.
health as well. Tommy Reddish, love me some Gordon, but David, you can out-talk that guy. Tommy, send me the information. Good thing I don't go to Gainesville. That's a Dwight Allen. I'll pass on the test. I want a less invasive test. Okay? I heard that some people who got tested had gotten the virus. Have you heard that?
No. Some people. I think what she's saying.
I was trying to read. I think I heard that some people who got tested had not gotten the virus.
No. What she's saying is, I think there's this rumor that's going around that you can get the virus from the test.
It's a sanitary test. They open up each individual. The staff is handling each one getting gloved and re-gloved and being tested. So it's they just don't drive up. That thing's that long. It's
They don't share it with everybody.
Yeah.
I think,
One per person.
I think what's going on is there's some information out there about a batch of tests that come back contaminated from the lab.
Well, that came back. The National Guard was supposed to be, and what we've understood from the Department of Health, there was a certain company that was explained to us, and I don't want to badmouth anybody because I don't know the name of the exact
Right.
company. I've got a name in my head, it's a short abbreviation, but I don't want to badmouth anybody. Don't let it be so, but they did have a batch of tests. When the labs went to test it, they weren't set up, but it gave off a different type of gas for that test than what most of our labs were set up for.
Okay.
Whether they were bad tests,
Right.
each test has to go about their own method of. And what happens is our state is designed for. The governor's been on the ball, and we're getting these tests now that are coming in faster with results.
Right.
University of Florida's got us. They started the first drive up for public safety. If you just schedule, you drove up, and now that's kind of the method. Jacksonville's doing it now. Bradford County is going to be walking into that process, and you'll be hearing that information this coming week.
Right.
As Department of Health releases that, we'll be assisting them and organize. They'll start out with the first batch of how that work out all the kinks with all public safety.
Right.
And you roll up, you roll your window down, you take your spouse with you or your child. You can get one per window. They're not going to reach across nobody. You pull up, they get your information, they tag it. It's like an evidence bag, like crime scene.
Right.
They open up the test. They have to label it. They do the test. They have to take off their gloves, just like you're talking with that test. It's put in that bag and it's sent off for testing. They have to re-glove. Next person, start new again. But they can do so many. They're hoping to be able to do 100 or so a day. And whether you got symptoms or not, now it's to test how many's out there, kind of thing. So I think it's great to do.
What he's describing in that process is the correct thing to do if you're wearing any form of PPE and you come into contact with anything that can be contaminated. Because you have to basically keep yourself and the next samples from having contamination
cross-contamination.
From being cross-contaminated. That's right.
I got a little something right here, Byron, for you. U.S. General right here. Seriously, people, stop buying masks. They are not effective in preventing general public from catching the coronavirus. But if healthcare providers can't get them to care for sick patients, it puts them in our communities at a very high risk.
I have had one of the masks that I wear into people's houses every day now for a year. One. They can't get we can't get them.
Right.
So and it's the only mask that they will get us within reason that they can actually seal to our face and us not actually breathe in anything.
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, dead serious honest. I am more concerned about going into people's homes with the job that I do with tuberculosis than I have ever been with COVID-19.
Yes.
Because it's far more contagious. Somebody sneezes across the room and you have got the mess.
Yeah.
I don't want people to understand, in a small county, our EMS service, just EMS, there's been more than 3,000 something masks been issued and disposed because they're coming in contact. So you've got to keep our medical professionals, our public safety officials, have to have access. If we fight, our emergency management team has to fight every day to get more masks here.
Right, sure.
To supplement those people that every call now they're having to suit up. They don't know what they're coming in contact with. To meet the Department of Health guidelines. Our firemen, because the fire department now in the county, and the city of Stark, basic life support, they're assisting when rescue's not available. When we had 2 heart attacks simultaneously the other day.
Right.
Now you think about it. The deputies had to start performing CPR on one prior to anybody getting there. Now, we've just exposed. You can't do CPR. You know what I'm saying? Now the new methods they can, but they're in close contact with these individuals.
Right.
It's become more difficult, but that's how many masks a small county.
Right.
In the 6-7 weeks now, we've issued them over not what they only had in stock.
Correct.
But more than 3,000 masks.
This is on top of that.
On top of that. Every man, every shift, every call, you figure what they're going through. And some people buy one mask and they're doing this all day long with it.
Right.
And they go grab it with their hands, they put it back on. There's a lot of misuse and misunderstanding with it.
Right.
Every picture we take, there's somebody says, "Oh, y'all aren't keeping your social distancing."
Right.
There's a lot of rules to that. Like us, we're getting the test, we're taking our temperatures, we're doing all those things. Or those people, we work in jails in close proximity. There's a lot of times we don't have that luxury.
You don't have that luxury.
No, you don't. You don't have that luxury.
You're right.
So it's mindful. We just want you to be responsible for your own and be mindful. The distance, wash your hands. The washing hands is probably one of the most main things. You see me, it's just happened. It's just happened now with that.
And plain and simple, if you know people who are irresponsible, don't be around them right now.
Get away from them.
Get away.
Stay away from people who you know won't be responsible.
I've got something. Did you want to add something, bro?
Just one of the things that I've encountered recently, just for parents to think about, and I appreciate everything going. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and she gets into everything like that one. Parents, be aware of the fact that while we are very concerned about the potential exposure to children, it is just as important that children be allowed to get dirty. Children need to build their immune systems. I'm not saying that you need to disregard any of the precautions, but we are saying that don't bathe them, smother them in antibacterials and disinfectants constantly, because what you're doing is you're actually damaging their own immune system as a young child, which will complicate things as they get older. So again, common sense, that's what we want people to understand. Washing your hands. You don't have to use disinfectants 24 hours a day. Soap and water, it's the friction is what kills viruses and bacteria.
Right.
It's the friction of the actual washing hands. That's why we say 20 seconds of washing. That's what we want to do. So again, common sense, questions about this sort of thing like that, when the emergency management team for the sheriff's office has information available, call the remote control line. That number 904-368-3943. There are people there with medical experience that are answering these questions, can give the information that you need, and refer you to the health department and get you the documentation to really make sure your family's safe.
Hey,
Ladies
I have
and
a question. Can we get that information that you just gave us to the governor of Wisconsin? Can we please?
And I'm going on.
Can we please?
And I'm going on. And I'm going on.
I'll mention one thing though.
Oh, God.
Sheriff was talking about hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Let everybody know, don't squirt it and rub it right
No,
in.
let it sit in
You
here.
let it get on your
Yes.
hands and you let it air dry.
Also, by the way, if you did not recognize that voice, that is Mr. Michael Heater, our director. Somebody's asking me, who was that? That's our director, Michael Heater. He had a thought on his head. He said, man, I got to get it in there. So that was our director, Mr. Michael Heater, who was on special assignment, by the way, and is now joining us. Which I've got another special assignment for Mr. Heater, because I want to say something that Sarge just said. Sarge just asked the question. When the vaccine is found, I wonder how many will refuse to take it.
Right here.
I'd like for you to put a poll out
Right
and
here.
get out to everything that we can. And I'd like to do a Tuesday result from that. We're going to put a poll out there, Sarge, and about this.
I've got
So when
something
the
to say.
vaccine, just a second.
Yeah.
When the vaccine is found, how many people will refuse to take it or is going to take it? I'll let Mr. Michael Heater, he's great at wording this kind of stuff. We will put that as a poll on our webpage and any other web pages that we can get a hold of as well. We will tally those results up and we'll find out exactly what that result is. And then I'm going to let you speak, Byron, right quick. To me,
you're good.
I'm going to just go ahead and venture to take this guess. I'm going to say more people are not going to take it than they will.
And I'm going to tell you why.
That's me. I'd like to just hear y'all's opinion about it as well.
I'm going to tell you why it's silly. And I'm not talking about the Bill Gates microchip theory. I'm not talking about
Right.
some of this stuff, which is very possible. They could be
Right.
doing stuff like that. But just from a standpoint of medical technology and the things that we normally do with vaccines, they are normally tested for a number of years before they make it mandatory for people to take them because they don't know what type of side effects it's going to cause.
Correct.
I'm not putting anything in my body that I don't know what the side effects are going to be from it. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. If it says on the label that it's possible that I have this, that, and the other because they tested it for long enough, then I might think about it. You know the risk. But if you're looking at me after 6 months and telling me you just developed this vaccine for this virus that I have a 0.457 chance of catching, and you're telling me I need to take it, my response to you is going to be you can keep that needle away from me.
Hey, I say we send it to China and test it on them first.
I say we send it to Congress and we test it on the majority. Congress. How about that? How about we send it up there where our politicians actually test things instead of the American citizens that they're supposed to serve? How about we do that?
Yeah.
I'm with it.
I'm with that. I'm with that too. All right. Just a
You
few
notice I just
comments.
said the majority, right?
Yeah.
I caught that.
I caught that too. Noah Gibson says he would take it. Dwight Allen replying to Jason Vaught, me for one. Dwight, I don't know if you, me for one. Will you take it? He's not taking it.
No, Dwight's not taking
He's not
it.
going to take it.
And
Okay.
you skipped right over his comment, 2 comments above that.
Oh, I missed it. Call me College Town. Yeah. Let's see here. Hey, that's the sheriff's team over there now. Yeah, you better watch out, Byron.
God's a gator.
Yeah.
That's why
Me
he
for
makes the
one.
sunset
Got good
guard
advice,
gold.
Byron. I heard this one. There's going to be a bigger issue with diseases that's not corona that is going to be worse this fall.
Look, they have big issues with the flu every year.
I'm just going to say, put the flu right up there on
Yeah,
top.
vaccine and not a treatment still.
Yeah, still, some people get it. And guess what? There's still thousands and hundreds of thousands of people dying from it every year. So who's to say about this vaccine? If you get it, you know what I'm saying? That it's yeah, exactly.
There's
not.
already 2 strains of it.
That's
There's
correct.
one on the East Coast and
One on the West
Coast.
Coast.
Is it going to work for both the strains?
Remember the one year there was 2 different flu vaccines in the same season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but are we going to develop 2 vaccines at the same time and say one's for one side and one's for the
I
other?
don't know what they're going to do.
Gordon,
I'm scared to death.
I mean, I'm scared to death of them actually injecting me with something that they have
You know
tested
what?
for a period
Yeah.
of years. That
Yeah.
scares me.
It does.
What is the side effect? We don't
Yeah,
realize
we don't know.
Well, I tell you, like with the flu vaccine, I don't get it every year. I get it every other year. I do it every other year.
I
That
don't
way,
get
my body can keep on building up a resistance.
to the flu. I haven't ever had a flu vaccine. Haven't ever taken it. I've had the flu one time in the last probably 30 years. I don't know whether I'm just immune to it from being around
Could be.
people that have had it. I don't know, but I don't catch it, so I don't.
The White Island's got something good here. Is the government stockpiling DNA from all these tests? Call me crazy for not trusting the government after all the spying over the last few years.
Good question.
Good question, brother. That's a great question.
Like,
Yeah.
there is no telling what the government's doing.
Right now.
You saw what's happened with all the stuff that the FBI did to Donald Trump and General Flynn, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So who knows what the government's doing?
There's a new server station in Utah.
A new what? Which?
A new server station in Utah that's compiling information on citizens.
Yep, there's already one in
Everything that
Toronto,
went online
Canada
is
right
being
now.
recorded.
Hey, there's already one in Toronto, Canada right now that's big time that can tell you every little thing that you did yesterday. Read up on that one. Go read up on that and see. That is a scary thought. On every citizen, everywhere.
That's NSA.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to start making up funny little
Yeah.
things for them and letting them
Hey,
know how
letting
much
them-
I
yeah.
enjoy.
And I
them
don't want y'all to
following
laugh,
me.
but that's why I'd rather buy firearms from someone who I know than go to the store and buy them, because it ain't none of the government's business
yeah.
to know what I own
Yeah, that's
to
right.
protect myself and my family.
All right, Noah Gibson. No, I'm not turning him loose on that because we're all going to turn loose on that, and we may get a click off of this thing if we do that. Lisa Moody Thomas, you know what he's talking about, right? Let him loose on the about Wisconsin. Let you loose. Let you loose about Wisconsin.
That's
I've got the rating on you. Sheriff's right there to grab you. Angela
Hey,
Stonebladen.
the sheriff has probably got some great comments
Well, I'm
because
sure
we're
he
talking
does.
about sheriff's deputies that did this.
Yeah,
They did.
they did.
Did you bring your cuffs just in case Byron gets a little
Yeah,
foul?
did you bring them? Let Mr. Bagwell loose on Wisconsin. We're going to talk about Wisconsin later.
I've never been in a set of handcuffs by a police enforcement officer, and I'm never going to be.
There you go. I don't take the flu vaccine either. Seen a ton of protesters with Bill Gates signs. Sarge said, "You're spot on, B. I'm due for a tetanus shot." Okay, better get it. Sean Bergen is watching. I don't know the success. I'm sorry, man. Sorry about that. Matthew, thank you for joining us. I haven't heard from you in a while, brother. Give me a call at some time. Automatic temp scan, non-invasive for groups of up to 10, he says.
Don't have a problem with somebody sticking a thermometer in my head.
Yeah.
You're going to click. Every day, 4 or 5 times a day. Yeah.
They're talking about a lot of these large companies now. What they're doing is they're putting these things. We do it with the FLIR, kind of thing. You
Yeah.
can test, and you, like us with the FLIR, the drones go up, and you can reach over and touch hoods of cars in the picture and tell you what the temperature is.
It's
It's
wrong.
doing that, or you walk in the building, they have those stuff where you walk by them. As you walk
Right.
by
And it
certain
checks
locations,
your temperature.
checks your temperatures, and it's within a certain degree, but it kind of lets you alert you real quick. Say, hey, somebody's there's got the 99.8% temperature. You go, ooh, wait a minute. You start
Yeah.
checking, and you got a video as it goes by, kind of so you keep track of it.
Speaking the White Island, the black helicopters flew over the other day. I know they flew over mine in your house the other night. Speaking of Canada, how about the assault weapons
They
ban?
don't like me much because I shoot at them.
Yeah, we shoot at them. They about the assault weapons ban, just that quick and easy, gone. Sarge said. Yep, like Britain. Also, masks in public are not to protect the wearer from catching the virus, it's to prevent the wearer from spreading the virus.
How about it earlier?
Not to be confused with medical N95
Mask.
mask.
Totally different.
Totally different. You're exactly right. Well, that's all the comments that we have right there. We
Wear
still
one
got a
every
couple
day.
of segments. I want to stop y'all gentlemen right here, and I want to ask y'all a question. Dave Holland Jr., what do you have going on tomorrow? Do you have
Work.
anything? Work?
Work.
What time?
The ox is in the ditch.
Oh boy.
Probably about 10:30
In the morning.
in the morning
tomorrow?
a.m.
Tomorrow a.m.
Yeah, well,
Because I wanted to ask you, gentlemen, this conversation is going so well. We've got a lot of viewers interested in this. How about we do a little sports program, if anybody can? I know, Mr. Heater, you may not be here tomorrow. How about, can we do a little sports thing tomorrow? Let's just make it all sports tomorrow.
All sports is great.
How about 4 o'clock? Can you be here about 4 o'clock?
I sure can.
Y'all want to do a little just all sports? We just come on and we talk about sports.
I can't promise, but I most certainly.
I know we talked about what you got to run.
It won't take me but about an hour and a half to take care of what I need to take care of.
Yeah.
Less than that. So 4 o'clock is fine.
All right, Mitchell, you all right with that?
Sure.
And let's just go all sports. We'll just do that. We'll just go all
All
sports.
Gators.
All, I said all sports.
Well, Gators covers all sports, man. From
Oh, Jim and Eddie, we're going to argue that point tomorrow. But anyway,
It's like what?
we got.
It's like Colin Hitler.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have Mr. Michael here to put it out. All sports tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll have the whole panel here. We'll get into some things. I want to get into the drafts, things like that.
Absolutely,
Want to
yeah.
get in? I want to get your opinion about this tornado football schedule too. About what they got coming up, what they got coming back. We'll get into that a little bit.
Tornado high school and high school football.
Oh my God!
That's where kids are
You remember
playing.
that? Remember that night you was up there with me?
Which
One
one?
fun night. That one night that you filled in for
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
Howe.
Big Kevin Howe.
Oh my God! Sheriff, color, commentate, man. We were rolling. I don't know how many dadgum messages and hits and everything.
Man.
Oh my God! It was hilarious.
I love me some tornadoes.
You got that right. Well, we're starting to get toward the end of the show a little bit. Mr. Bagwell, I know you wanted to talk about a couple things, and I know Sheriff has got a couple of things here. And by the way, I want to thank all of our audience for tuning in. Hello, Alvy. I don't know if you're still up or not. I don't know if your mom's still on. Hello, Alvy. Just want to give you a shout out again. Mr. Byron Bagwell, what do you have for us?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about a couple of different things. We talked a little bit about Joe Biden and his misadventures with.
Hey, you said just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I promise this won't go far. I just
No,
want-
about Joe Biden just a little bit. Never mind. Go on.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Yikes!
Sorry.
Good grief!
Sorry.
I'm going to borrow his.
Sorry,
Favorite
man. Go ahead. Good grief.
There went the connection we were reported down.
Yeah, there goes that connection.
Hey, just a little bit to think further along the lines of what we were talking about last week. Does anybody remember a woman by the name of Juanita Broderick?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I saw Hillary Clinton supporting Joe Biden today, and I could not help but think about what she did to Juanita Broderick. And Juanita Broderick accused Bill Clinton of what he did.
Yep.
We go forward a little bit in time, and there was at least 5 or 6 other women that accused Bill Clinton of doing stuff like that, and every single one of them were, according to Hillary, basically skankos, and some of the other words that I can't use on this show. And then you go forward a little bit more in time, you get Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton lying through his teeth about that, losing his law license over it. Then you go forward. Jennifer Flowers is another one. I didn't have time to dig up all the names. There is at least 6 women that accused Bill Clinton of doing some really heinous stuff. When you go forward in time and you watch what happened with the media, and they did nothing. Bill Clinton's a hero. This can't be right. Well, we know at least the Monica Lewinsky thing was because he lost his law license over it. He perjured himself on stand. So we go a little bit further in time, and what you find is a gentleman that I misnamed last weekend.
Yes.
I was actually quoting the wrong Supreme Court nominee. It was not Neil Gorsuch. It was now I've lost his name.
Yeah, me too. Now that we've
started talking about it, the one that had all the problem with
Kavanaugh. Yes,
Justice Kavanaugh.
Yes.
We had the media crucify him in the court of public opinion, and all the Democrats were up there saying he's guilty as sin, and this lady was a fruitcake who couldn't corroborate anything. Yes, I call her a fruitcake, and I really
she lied.
She lied through her teeth. The Democrat Party set that up. So We go a little bit further in time, and then all of a sudden we have people accusing Donald Trump of the same thing. They do the same exact thing. And then here comes Joe Biden. And you have one or two networks saying very little about it. One of them saying almost nothing, and the other one saying a lot about it. And here's the problem. We're not treating both political parties the same when it comes to the media. And it is not right, it is not fair, and it's outrageous, quite frankly. Now, I do not want Joe Biden persecuted in the court of public opinion. Period. What I want the media to do is I want the media to treat the Republicans like they do the Democrats and give them the benefit of the doubt until they're tried by a jury of their peers. Then they can go back and crucify them if it's found that they actually committed the crime. But trying people in a court of public opinion is terrible for our justice system, because what starts happening is these people that you are actually picking as jury members are impossible to pick because everybody's heard of it and everybody knows what's going on. You can't have a fair trial that way because political bias starts to play in. That's a little bit I wanted to say about Joe Biden in that,
right.
Because I know we need to get to Gordon. The other thing I was going to talk about Wisconsin a little bit. I'm sorry. 2 sheriff's deputies show up in my yard, tell me my daughter can't go out and play in the yard or go over to her friend's house. I'm going to look at them and go, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
What's your name? You're not cooperating. No, you're right. I'm not cooperating. Well, I'm going to mark this down. Well, mark this down. Get out of my yard now.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Get out of my yard. You have no business here.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to the Capitol building.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring friends with me. Lots of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime.
Yep. Well, if we lived in Michigan, we've already would have been there. I had some people on Facebook talking about how stupid those people were carrying their rifles to the Michigan Capitol building. Well, it's legal to carry your rifle around the Michigan Capitol building, number one. They were exercising their Second Amendment rights. And they were, quite frankly, probably all a little bit scared that a governor that would take that much control of his citizenry would actually have them arrested and thrown in jail for exercising their First Amendment rights. So I don't blame them at all. I would have done the same thing. I just all of this that's going on is crazy. It's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. Some of these governors, and I'm telling you, you can see it in the differences in the states and what they're doing to let us back open. And you can see it in the county breakdown, like what we were talking about, like what Bradford County's doing and like what Alachua County's doing. You can tell who the parties are that are in control of the states and the counties.
Yeah, you know also what you're going to see? You're going to see the states get back on their feet, and then you're going to see the other states that took this action that's going to go bankrupt, and then they're going to want everybody,
to help
the other states, to help them
them
get
out.
I am telling you
Senator
right.
Rick Scott's addressed that.
Yes, he has, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want a penny of my money going to a state that's bankrupted itself because it's being stupid about this virus. Not a single solitary penny. I will tell all my representatives that. I will tell everybody else that I can, and I will drive it down. If they start that, I will make it a personal issue with me, because we have let people act irresponsibly in this country for so long. New York is the worst. So you want to act irresponsible, and you want me to cover you because you act irresponsible because you can't elect an official that can take care of their budget and take care of their people and actually attract businesses? I don't think so. I've had enough of that. And I think the American public should get upset about it too and have enough of that and say, no, if you fail, you fail. We're not bailing you out. And don't send your people down here with your policies, because we don't want this state to fail either, because you want to come down here and start that.
Well, Byron, you know what you're talking about right there. You see it all over social media. How many times have we talked about this? You're seeing people getting more ramped up and amped up about this same topic and this same thing. People are getting tired of this thing right now. We need to start moving forward, and every state taking the right actions to get people back to work and get this economy turned around. And you can do it, as you told me last night, in a sensible
You can do
way.
it in a sensible manner, David.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to believe we never should have shut any state down. Really should have never shut any state down. What the president should have done, and the groups of people that are around him, the CDC should have done, would have gone, this virus is affecting this age group. This virus is affecting people with this condition, that condition, the other condition. If you have those conditions, you need to stay at home.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, as accurate as that is that it was a case of the tail wagging the dog and the media running with it, and then they had to play catch up all the way across the board.
I understand there was some things that were done to stop this virus, and we got blasted for that too. You close out China, and Trump is a xenophobe. Not a xenophobe anymore when you have people, your family members dying because they're catching this crap. But he shut it down, and he's a xenophobe because he's done that out of the mouth of.
Yeah.
Instead of thanking him for what he did, we have, guess who? Mr. Joe Biden saying that. He is a xenophobe because he shut China out. Guess where the first case of it come from? It was a Chinese citizen that was in Washington State. So, look, all I'm saying is use common sense with this, and I understand people are going to say, well, people could have caught it and taken it home to them. Well, look. You have to be responsible about what you do. You are literally responsible for your own health. The government is not responsible for your health. No matter how bad one side of it wants to be responsible for everybody's health. They are not responsible for your health. Your health. You are. And bottom line is, you can't destroy an economy of the magnitude of the United States because of a virus that has basically a mortality rate of 2 or less now, depending on what thing you look at, and a chance of you catching it being 0.475, 0.5.
What say it? 0.457.
0.457. So we have done all of this stuff, and we are destroying our economy for what? I'm beginning to question if it's not for not getting Donald Trump reelected because he can't use the economy. Is what I'm really beginning to believe.
That 4.57 is actually starting to drop because
it is, and we figured that number. Yeah, that was the last number.
It's getting lower.
Look, guys.
Explain that's less than 0.5%.
That's less. And Mr. Donald
that's less than 0.5%.
That's less than 0.5% chance of you catching this virus. Well, like I said, I know there's groups of people who do not need to be around this at all because it will not be good if they catch it. But guys, we've got to open this thing back up. We have got to get back to normal. I am not going to go through the rest of my life and not look at another man or another woman and not look at them straight in the eyes and shake their hand when I meet them or when I leave their home. I am not doing it. I do not care.
What you got, man?
Another thing that I found rather interesting was looking through some of the stuff that, because of some of the work that I'm involved in like that one, I was amazed at the incredibly high percentage of the masks and the gloves and the supplies that we're purchasing from
China
for this.
That's the other thing that needs to be said, and I'll table that one off. We don't need to be buying anything from China.
Yeah, we can just cut that plain and simple.
You see that box that was in my car that said "Made in China"?
Yeah.
But when I bought it, the company was an American company, so I thought it was made right here in the United States.
Sure.
Until it showed up.
See, and that's the other thing. Exactly right.
Even some of the stuff that is made in America are made with parts in China. We got to get our supply chain back in this country. Bottom line of that. And I'm going to table everything else off and let Mr. Gordon Smith.
And by the
talk
way,
to you about this is important too because this is about Bradford County, and I'm going to move out of the way so everybody can see him.
Hey, and by the way, Byron, that was a great report. And you know who it was brought to you by tonight, Byron? Read it off right there.
And now the national report is over.
That's right.
By me,
That's right.
Mr. Freedom Fighter Byron Bagwell. Tonight's report was brought to you by Saban and Schuster Law Firm in Jacksonville. Visit them online at www.hiplaw.com.
Very good, Byron.
Thank you.
Very good. You could be on Let's Make a Deal.
Let's make a deal.
Make it an American.
There you go.
Make
Going
it
over-
an American deal.
Byron, stay in the frame. You're all right.
Yeah,
Hey, you're all right. Come on in. I'm going to give it Sheriff Gordon Smith. He's got several things going on. First of all, Sheriff, the governor has come out with phase one. People don't know about the plan to reopen the state back up. I know you've been researching this and going over a lot of this. You actually had a press conference yesterday with Lieutenant Raymond Schubert
Yeah,
and
we
yourself.
just kind of got some information out for
Right.
you know where Bradford County stood with
Right.
opening the parks. We're going to phase in opening the parks, trying to keep your groups less.
Right.
Sanitize, keep your kids clean. The bathrooms and the water fountains will be closed. Just because there's no way to sanitize them and keep
Right.
them sanitized. So we're doing some of that. The boat ramps have remained open. They're still open for recreation. The golf course, those type of situations.
Right.
Our issue came into play, and I got to give kudos to our Board of County Commissioners. When we got overwhelmed, when the governor did his plan at 5 o'clock, he kind of came out late, and people was like, what are we going to do?
Right.
There's a lot of people from beauticians, barbers, those type people. Because when I looked at Plan 1, and I'm sitting here holding it, this is Florida's
Plan phase one.
This is the whole phase plan.
Yeah.
You can go right to the myflorida.gov,
Right.
and you can pull it up. It's 34, 35 pages long, and it tells you the phases to do that. Now, I don't know the reason why the governor did what he did, but he put a group of great people together from all over the state. Smart people, way smarter than I am. I know it's hard for y'all to believe. But they're smart. So, but they got together. So we're looking at phase one, and we're looking at this thing and going, okay.
Did they have it? Never mind.
Yeah, so
I'll stop.
But talk about large sporting events, Disneyland, World, and all those people are phasing back in at 25%. And some of those people do good at counting the numbers. I'm not a math guy. I'm not going to walk into somewhere and say this is 25% or it's not 25%. We're responsible for our own health.
Correct.
We're all responsible.
Thank you.
See, everybody talks about the rights, but everybody wants to forget about the responsibilities that go with rights.
That's correct.
And that's a whole other story we can do another time.
Right.
But we looked at personal services, and my phone lit up from social media to personal text. A lot of these people in our community that cut hair, that are beauticians, they're just trying to keep their shop open. They're trying to. The government's, we didn't shut it, but they still sell their supplies. What?
What?
Well, okay, I can buy a bottle of shampoo. I don't think that's going to pay the rent.
No, that's
Dwight Allen has a good comment about that.
Yeah.
He says, how does COVID-19 know the difference between Walmart and a hair salon?
They don't. My wife's a licensed massage therapist.
I seen that. I was going to get
Been working for 30 years, and they're allowed to go back to work, and they're touching you. And,
Right.
That's about as personal as you can
Yeah.
get. With that, I don't know what the reason is. I think he's looking at that. I did put in a phone call that afternoon to the Secretary Bashir, who is the Secretary of the Department of
Because
Business
I have
Regulations.
something done with this.
You got to do something with that. I wish I had here. So anyway, I'm gonna keep moving on. But with that being said, I did put in a phone call to him when I got a return call the next morning. He said, "You're about the 12th sheriff." He said, "I'm hearing from a lot of small county sheriffs. We're personal. It affects the people I love and care about."
That's right. Yes.
It doesn't matter which shop I use and TJ at the end of them or Dave. Those people that you go, and my wife, the beauticians, but other massage places here in town, chiropractic offices. It affects a lot of people. The gym, you tell I like to go to the gym workout.
Yeah, I can tell.
Rounds-
Same gym I worked out at.
Rounds considered a shape, so I'm in shape. So anyway,
12.
Well, wait a minute. No, hang on a minute. Do
Stop
you do these? Can you push away from the table?
no, that's
That's you're doing chin ups. You're pulling to the
Yeah, I'm
table.
pulling to the table.
All right.
Pump
Okay.
the silver, buddy. Pump the
So
silver.
I looked at that, and I said, "What can we do?" So when I got to speak to the secretary, this guy, first impression was out of the ballpark. He had a great sheriff. I know what you're fixing to say. I said, "Well, let me tell you, this is important to me, and it's on the list." We thought we were going, so we were preparing. I'm telling my friends. He said, "There's a little hiccup in it. The governor's looking at it. This isn't something he don't think in his personal opinion."
Right.
I want to quote that. He said, "Just an opinion. I think he's reviewing that. There's some things they want to put in place first, make sure they got everything, so everybody is paying from the same bucket."
Okay.
What they're going to do in Orlando is going to be the same thing they do a beautician shop in there, or a nail salon, or whatever it may be.
Right.
So I think. But in the meantime, he said, "Well, you got executive orders." And I said, "What do you mean?" So he directed me to the state EOC and got me in contact. with that, contacting our board chairman, Commissioner Chris Daugherty.
Right.
Rachel Roden has done a great job.
She has.
She contacted commissioners. Our board of county commissioners drafted a letter to go to the governor's office.
Did they?
Well,
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gordon, he's not going to be able to control some of these counties.
Well, I'm
There's
thinking,
no way
and he's
gonna
told
be
us
able
that
to
he's
do
looking
that.
at it like with churches. I'll be honest with you. They never said you couldn't hold church in Bradford County.
No,
We're
they
allowed to
didn't.
say, we're
That's
not
right.
going to infringe on the freedom of religion.
Right.
But I can tell you that as a sheriff, I have a great community. The pastors that reached out, they were working with us. They've done it. Now they're ready to go back to work. I'm ready to go back to my church family.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I need a church. If nobody else knows me, I need church. So, and I need to be around my peers that give me a positive influence. You know, church is where, church is not the building. Church is the people that we get to gather in like minds.
Right.
Most of us need it, and I'm not want to be preaching to anybody, but I miss my church family. I can tell you this, that our Board of County Commissioners did step up. They drafted a letter, and I'm going to read it real quick.
Please do.
Dear Governor DeSantis, please accept this letter on behalf of the Bradford County requesting your consideration of an expansion of Executive Order 2020-112, Phase 1, Safe Smart, Step-by-Step Plan for Florida's Recovery. That's when it came out and announced.
Correct.
So they're asking to allow the reopening of additional businesses which Bradford County has determined are essential during the current phase of COVID-19 recovery. I am certain you are aware Bradford County is small, physically constrained, and dependent upon small businesses, including hair salons, barbershops, and fitness centers. These businesses have suffered a significant loss of income since the implementation of Executive Order 2020-91, issued on April 1st, 2020. That's 1 month.
That's
That
1
is
month.
a long time for a small business.
Yes, it is.
And are desperately in need of relief. As these businesses have suffered, so has Bradford County, our economy, and indeed our citizens. While Bradford County respects your leadership during these unprecedented times, and while we appreciate your concern in implementing a plan which reopens the state of Florida in a safe and measured fashion, we ask that you please consider our request to expand the Executive Order 2020-112 to allow hair salons, barbershops, and fitness centers to reopen within Bradford County while working under the common sense safety and social distancing guidelines outlined in Executive Order 2020-112 as provided by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you in advance for your consideration of our request. And again, thank you for your continued support and leadership during this tumultuous time. Respectfully, Joseph C. Daugherty, Chris Daugherty, most of us know him.
Yes.
They have drafted something. We're putting it through the proper channels to emergency management, which goes to their director of health and those type things to give us the exception. Because it's county by county.
Correct.
In the state, as you notice, he did certain things in other different counties.
Yes, he did.
We're just asking to be one of those counties, a physically constrained county, which puts a little more burden
In consideration
in
with.
consideration for that.
Yeah.
And I expect we'll see some movement if the governor doesn't consider the entire state.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking that's basically saying that everybody's essential is what that's saying.
You dang right.
Right.
They're
Yes.
central Rocky.
Yes. Through my
They're
readings,
responsible.
yeah.
And these people don't want to get sick, so they're going to carry the proper procedures. But product, how many bottles of shampoo you got to buy to pay the rent?
Right.
Now, I know some $5 shampoo my wife gets. They might can pay the rent off of that. But off a bottle of swab that I pay $1.29 for, they're probably not going to make much money.
Gordon, I want to thank Chris Daugherty for writing that. That is a great letter.
The People's Commissioners
Man,
have
I'm
went to
gonna tell
bat to
Great
step up
wording,
for our
everything.
community, to step up for our community, and that takes to all the board. Miss Rachel Roden,
Yeah, great
to
job
that
she
and
does.
Work with our commissioners to let the people that we serve in this community.
That's right.
To let them know that they have not been forgotten. We thought this, and a lot of people thought this phase one when he was going to do it would include it. Now, I'm sure there's a rational reason. I'm not criticizing.
Right.
I think the governor has done a great job.
Yeah,
Yes, I
But
have
I
been so
think-
overall.
But I think listening to the secretary is doing what the boss asked.
Correct.
He's been professional about it. He
Good.
sees the need, but there's also exceptions, like you can carve out county by county.
Correct.
Alachua County's going to do something different. Bradford
Yes,
County.
they are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well,
Yeah.
them beauticians may not be, and barbers may not be, critical infrastructure to them.
Right.
But to my community,
It is.
it is critical.
It is
Let me
critical.
tell you, your hair's hygiene.
Yes, it is.
Massage therapy. If you go into these places, it's no different than me walking into the hardware store, to I walk in Walmart. My personal responsibility is mine. If I think I need to wear a mask, and there's been places I've worn masks that I thought I need to get one,
Oh, yeah.
and I've got some in my truck. I
Right.
can tell you, I'm not going to do the molded ones anymore. That thing's hurt. And I start with the N95, the molded ones.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
soft
that
ones.
either. That's why I can't breathe out.
They're a little better. People don't understand that. And I've got the mask. When you see me out, I've got one usually around my neck. People think it's a band. I can pull it up, and it's got the new safety ones we wear for our SWAT teams, and they're a little decorative. You can get them. I mow. It keeps the dust and all. It's to protect people from me.
Right.
You know, kind of deal.
That's what Matthew Eunice was saying.
Well, you know, that's the kind of thing that we're talking about in responsibility and what your local government is doing. Now, I want to warn people about traffic. Traffic's going to pick back up. People are going to
Yes,
go
it
return
is.
to work.
Yes,
You know,
it
and
is.
kids are at home. Kids are out playing. Parks are going to open back up to a certain degree.
Yay!
So we get, you can take your kids to the park. Keep them sanctioned. People don't let them gather up as a football. It's outdoors, y'all. That's the best place to be. Before
the sunlight.
sunshine.
Yeah.
We need to get that fresh air. It's like us. Mama used to, I can tell you from the time a kid, we didn't have central heating.
Get out of this house.
I can remember when somebody got sick, the first thing she did was open the windows to air the house out.
Yep.
Still the best thing you do, by the way.
By the way, yep.
It's to keep things moving. There's going to be a lot of asymptomatic people that may have it. We'll never know.
Right.
Finding that from the Stanford studies and all those that are out there. It was so unknown. I truly believe our president went in this thing with the right intention. It was great to see our government for a day or two kind of all come together.
Yeah.
Nobody really did. We didn't want to overwhelm our medical system. We've proven that we haven't done that. We're laying medical workers off.
That's what I was
And
going to
bit
say.
of good news, the emergency room in Bradford County is still open. The transition has been made.
Right,
They've changed
good.
the sign. There are people down there if we have an emergency. That is the good thing.
And my understanding is they're allowing elective surgeries again.
They are. They're starting
They are,
to do
yes.
surgeries. A lot of those people start coming back to work because you're in the medical field. They're protecting themselves as they always have. That we just, y'all, it was a world of unknown. We'd seen what happened. We knew China was lying with this virus.
Yes, we did.
We've seen what happened in other countries. But you go back and look at those other countries' hygiene practices, their sanitation practices. Those countries don't do what we do. in America. With our healthcare workers, from our sanitation workers to the people that prepare our food each and every day. We are different than the rest of the world. We are Americans.
That's right.
And
And proud to be one, by the way.
I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it. Greatest country.
And I want to thank you and the other sheriffs calling the governor up and asking about
Yes.
that, because I think
Yes.
that was a result of him going down to Orlando today to talk to those other barbers and beauty salons to discuss what type of things that they could put in as safer barriers for them to open up their businesses. And probably one of those things are they're going to have to wear a mask while they cut your hair. That's probably one of the
I'm
one
okay
of the
with
things.
And gloves.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And gloves.
If you wear masks and gloves
Right.
while you're doing anything, if you properly take them off in between the people you're taking care of and dispose of them the right way, you're going to cut your chances down to almost nil.
I thought about people that cook the food.
Sure.
Wearing masks. I said, that's probably better anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, let me,
Y'all, I started thinking there's some good going to come out of this.
I think definitely.
I think that we're going to be better. We're going to be stronger. Our hygiene, our country's probably cleaner than it's ever been. I can just tell you today, just, and it's an emotional, it's a personal Gordonism thing.
right,
When I was helping today with Tommy Reddish,
right.
we go back. I call him Dog. We got nicknames.
Dog, yeah.
You know, he's played football too with his family. But when I was sitting there and I had my earbuds on and I heard that Luke Bryan, I didn't really know who Luke Bryan was, to be honest with you. But I went when I seen it playing through my radio system, and I reached out and seen the song because I wanted to go back and hear it again.
Right.
It's emotional to me.
Sure.
Man, I'm Bradford strong. I'm a tornado.
One of those skinny jean wearing.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, we're always
I
going
can't.
to
Could you see me sitting in a pair of skinny jeans? Look like a marshmallow and a bubblegum wrap. I ooze out. Y'all, this is the people that I used to see every day. My friends, I'm a handshaker and a hugger.
That's correct.
My wife, she's a handshaker and a hugger too.
Yeah.
We're
hard.
missing our friends. We're social people. Our house is always full of company,
Yeah.
and we're social. It's election season. I can't go out and do what we.
By the way, when are we coming to eat at your house?
That's what I'm telling you.
we're
We're going to do it. I'm
We're
telling you, we got to
Okay,
take out
we're
door.
gonna do it.
Hey, as long as we get the grill, I want the Three Crackers grill.
You want the Three Crackers grill?
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
gonna cook. We'll have a party because
Yeah, we
the
will.
social events.
Why
I
not?
cancel a couple things, but the political season, there won't be a door to door. We're not gonna be able to do that.
No.
Nobody wants you there. Now somebody shows up with a mask at your door, and you're like, "Hey, thank you." Whoever that. Before the law was called, you showed somebody the door with a mask on me, they were calling the cops.
Cops.
Not anymore. They're saying,
Cops, yeah.
"Thank you, hand me my food delivered."
Yeah.
The
Or hand me
FedEx
my
man-
baggage. Yeah.
I've seen more FedEx and UPS and the Postal Service. It's a different cycle.
It is.
It's going to be a tough cycle for us to get through. But I truly believe the economy will come back stronger. I truly believe that We're going to be wiser, smarter. There's a few people wishing that things would collapse because they're getting rich off of it.
Absolutely.
There's a few people that take advantage of crisis. And I get that.
Pharmaceutical companies.
There's people that take advantage of it.
No,
But in Bradford County as a whole, I truly think that the people here, when we take a picture, I get the person, they're not practicing social distancing. That's my responsibility. I recommend it for people in certain places. And I got my mask every time I break one out of a sealed package, and I've had to go in the nursing homes. I've had to go in places that weren't sanitary.
Yeah.
I was in one today. I was in one today in Jackson.
Yeah.
So I get that. I'm precautious. I don't want to
Sure.
make my kids sick.
No.
I don't want my wife sick.
No.
Lord knows.
But I understand also how you contract it. And you see me here probably tonight. How many times I grabbed that
Yeah,
ball?
we've all
It's
grabbed
that
it.
habit that I've
touched
gotten
my face. I'm
into.
going to grab it again.
And I touch my face all the time.
Me
Guess
too.
what? I can touch it here, and I haven't got it here. I haven't done anything. But I touch here, it's there.
Yep.
And I hand sanitize my hand. It's common sense world. I think we're going to get back to it. I really, truly believe that
Yep.
because of this, we've learned a lot of things. I'm not sure on the vaccine thing got me. The side effects bothers me with how fast you push.
So we're going to put that up there. I really like that question.
No.
Sarge brought up a good question. I like to see that.
I am sorry. That scares me to death.
I'm telling you, I think you're going to have a lot of nays more than yays.
How
I
many,
think
how
so.
many drugs and vaccines?
Some people don't need it. I
Some
get it.
people may need it.
How many drugs and vaccines have we had in the past where you read the label and it says can cause cancer?
A lot.
How many? Hey, why do you not think I take a lot of this stuff? Man, all that
I'd
stuff
rather
sounds
take-
good on infomercials. Oh, fascinating, all this stuff. And then you go, and the side effects are, and I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Hang on a minute. There's more side effects than anything good. I ain't trying that.
I can tell you right now, I would much rather have COVID-19 than cancer. I will survive.
Oh,
COVID-19.
without a doubt.
Sooner
Without
or
a
later,
doubt.
cancer will kill you.
You look in Florida right now. We have more hospital beds, ICU beds available than we did before it started.
Sure.
Right.
And we're letting
Yeah.
people off.
Off.
But we didn't know. I'm not blaming anybody because we didn't know. What we started in March, I can remember going to a meeting in Jacksonville and said, we haven't got any cases yet. We'll keep you informed. And it wasn't 24 hours later. We had our first case in Florida. And we were changing with it. Our problem was we're used to preparing for a storm. We're used to preparing for a large crowd. We're used to
Yeah.
preparing for a flood. We ramp up, we treat it, we hit it head on, we tackle it. This was something we couldn't see.
Right.
And it changed daily. And a lot of conspiracy theories come out of that.
Of course they do.
When you change, like, while they're doing it, what's happening? I get that. And I'm sure I'm at a local level. I take care of my people. And we have to rely on the experts. But then I listen to one expert one day says one thing.
And the next.
And I think they all have good intentions. It's like, people picking different football teams.
Sure.
It's like people have a different idea of how to dig that hole.
Right.
I get that. They're all intelligent and they're very smart. Somewhere in the middle is the answer.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I listen to all my news sources. I'm a very conservative when it comes to crime and punishment. I'm
Right.
a little social on some things when it comes to some of the day-to-day things are life things.
Right.
I'm social and self-sufficient, very conservative in others. I listen to all news.
Yep.
They said, you look at my phone, there's about 20 news sources on it. I like to read. I'm a
Of
reader.
course, a reader.
Well, I said, let your eyes rest. I like to read both sides of the story.
Me too.
I like to hear
Yeah.
both sides. And,
You
and
like
that's
to come up with your own opinion by
I
looking
can-
at both of them.
what happened is we've quit reporting the news. We started
Right.
making the news.
That's
Correct.
right.
One of the most abused words that we have in politics and in the media now is liberalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not what they use it as.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
originally intended.
It's not. When I have some, I'm very liberal in some of my social views. I was one of the sheriffs that fought for medical marijuana. I kind of felt I'd rather get to doing that than taking an Oxycontin.
Right.
We lose more people
Right.
to prescribed drugs, and it was abused.
Right.
And that goes back to some of the big guys at the top, that benefit from that.
That's
but I've
right.
seen it affect people I loved and cared about.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
To think that it doesn't is wrong, and everybody in America has had someone in their family affected by
Affected by it.
prescribed medication, and it sickens me. It really does. It tugs at my heart when you see people every day you sit with, you see, and to see it, watch them slowly.
Eat
But that's a whole other story. I think with our show tonight, it brought some of the things I wanted people in Bradford
Absolutely.
to know. They don't get to see their board of commissioners. People say, "Well, I haven't seen all my commissioners." I want people to understand you cannot put all the commissioners in the same room at
No.
the same time.
No, you can't.
Because of sunshine law in Florida, anything that could be voted on might be voted on or come back up for a vote. They got to be very careful not to discuss that without a public
Right.
posted meeting.
meeting.
So when
Yes.
you put them all in the room, they can all be in the room. If we all talking football, it's fine.
Yeah.
or basketball.
Basketball.
When we start
Yeah.
talking about any of this
Me too.
stuff, we start talking about this stuff, the commissioners
This one-
can't be. They've all, trust me, I'm on the phone with them regularly. Your board of commissioners have been very active, and they're very matter of fact.
Yes, they
So
are.
I want to give kudos, not just the county commissioners, but the Star
City-
commissioners,
the-
City
yeah,
of
city
Star.
commission.
They reach out and say, Sheriff, they do this emergency management has really been it's a learning curve. We always did these tabletop practices about pandemics,
Right.
And I'd laugh them off. Oh,
Ah.
okay, we're gonna get here. You sit there all day long, and guess what? We got hit in the head.
We got hit. Yeah, I'm just
But
going to
because
say,
of all
right,
those
right square in the
tabletops-
face.
But because of all those tabletops, we were able to respond, and we were ready. All the tax dollars that have been spent on this emergency management and those type of things, it paid off.
Yeah.
Our community, we've not run out of any supplies.
No, we haven't. I was going to ask
Kudos
that
to
thing,
Ray
and them
Christie.
boys. Yeah.
They have really.
Wow, backwoods, little Bradford County didn't run out of emergency supplies.
We pulled
And one of the greatest cities in the world, New York City, ran out of it. What does that tell you?
because we had people hit the ground. We pulled Peter out of the comm center and said, "We need you." We put our team. We're a small county, but we come together, and our community works better. Even though we have
Right.
people that don't believe the same beliefs.
That's correct.
We came together for the common cause.
Yeah.
It's managed
better.
It's and so
It's managed better.
we did that, and it's. I'm just so excited to see us starting the phases. Are people going to continue to get sick? We'll see the numbers, bro.
Right.
Testing. We're number
Two.
two. Number
Yes.
2 in the state of Florida per capita testing.
Testing.
Well,
Kudos to Amy Johns and her staff down at the health department.
Thank you.
You know, and
Amy doing a great job.
Miss Muscat, Dawn, and all them.
Them, yeah.
They have really our business people, our Christian, our religious community, regardless of what faith you were, denomination. They would call and say, Sheriff, we're going to take your guidance.
well, you
They could
know,
have said, no, we're not going to do it. And I could have done a thing, and nor would I have done something.
No, you
Would
wouldn't.
not have done that because I believe in the freedom of religion and responsive. I've had churches submit seating plans. I'm like, well, we just want you to show you what we're doing, Sheriff. They want to feel comfortable. They want their people safe as we do.
That's exactly right.
But they want to practice their religion, and that's what they should be
They
doing.
doing.
right, and go ahead and say, with this happening now, they're saying that we may have another phase of it come winter. But you know what? This helps you put emergency plan in order.
In order right now.
You already know correction action plan. What worked? What didn't work?
Right.
So you've got the basis to go by.
Oh, absolutely. And once we start understanding the numbers, and that chart has changed because
Yeah.
they learn more data need to be there. People want,
Yeah.
and people have the right to know. What we do
Oh,
is
yeah.
public. They have the right to
That's
know.
for sure.
But it was getting everything to get. It was so moving at a fast pace. We weren't in a walk. We were in a wide open race, like coming out the gates at the Greyhound races or the Kentucky Derby. You
Right.
know, it was like as soon as they hit the gate, this thing hit us. And people got criticized for making decisions up front. I can remember. I'm gonna give kudos to Clay Electric Co-op. I remember reading in March. I said Clay Electric Co-op against the thing. I heard people whining, fussing, the naysayers. Well, they wound up looking like heroes.
Sure did.
They led by example. They said,
Red
you know
Bull.
what? We have a lot of seniors and older people. That's to its effect, and they never canceled one.
Right.
But there are people at the top of Play Electric. I give them kudos. I remember looking at going, can you really believe I'm a politician?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, them people vote. I'm gonna be out there shaking hands. That's my day.
That's my day. That's
And
exactly
I
right.
was fussing, but then after that, I'm telling you, day after day after day, we realized that big decisions had to be made, whether we wanted to or not, and we did them right on behalf of the safety of the citizens of this county, and we did it all over this country.
Yes,
Now,
we
there's
are.
other groups that have taken advantage of it. I think other communities have taken advantage of people's constitutional rights.
I'm going to get ready to close out the show here, ladies and
you're
gentlemen.
absolutely
Once
right.
again, I want to thank.
I want one last thing here too to piggyback off what the sheriff has said, folks. And because of the emergency management team, Lieutenant Schufer, Christy Hudson, Wendy Russell, they've done an amazing job, folks. We are less than 4 weeks away from the Atlantic hurricane season, and Lieutenant Schufer and his team are already ramping up, getting plans.
We talked about that earlier, Mike, as you're on your way in for that special assignment.
So, yeah,
Man, we hit that like
So
a
good. So,
cream cake.
That's
I'm
what I said.
telling you.
Round of applause,
everybody.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna do it because of that. We're also in the transition of upgrading our comm center through a $750,000 appropriations that Bobby Payne, our state representative, was able to get us last year, and that money's secured, thank goodness.
Right.
Because the appropriations we got this year may be at risk because the state's going to make decisions. But because of that, going into this hurricane season, we're upgrading the entire comm center with about $750,000.
Heck yeah.
That comes from the state, perfect 100% match. So we'll have our communications up and running, and that's the reason they're getting this already because it'll take about 2 weeks to get all that equipment in,
Right.
new furniture and all that in our new comm center.
I tell you, Bobby Payne
Heck
has
yeah.
done a wonderful job for Bradford County. Even working with him on some of the traffic issues and getting some of those fixed. Wonderful person, always willing to go the extra mile for our county.
And we're going to miss Rob Bradley.
Rob
Bradley made a phone call and said,
Yeah.
when we applied, he said, put it on the Senate side and put it on the House side. So we had two people fighting for us.
Right.
And now his wife's running. She's a great person. So we got another fighter coming up.
Yeah,
I
Jennifer,
like to say
she's
she's a
awesome.
little smarter than Rob. Rob's a fighter.
Right.
She's smarter.
Yeah,
Rob's
she's-
fights, but she's smarter and she can get through things. So
Right.
my support goes to her and seeking that seat. No, it's not supposed to get political in here, but I'm just
I know,
going to say we
yes.
got fighters that fight to bring money back to our community that we otherwise would not have, and we'd have never been able to upgrade that center, which it's over 20 years old. It's and I have to understand all this, y'all. It goes from the old method to a digital system,
Right.
and that's our problem.
Gordon, that's not political. You just know,
Yeah.
Mike,
and
you
you understand
want
what she's going to do up there.
to talk about that a little bit?
That's not political. at all.
Just piggyback off what Sheriff said about that new council?
Sure, I can if you'd like.
He works there. He knows.
Yeah, the system that we had is actually a very good system. We actually have one of the more modern systems that we're transitioning through. The digital system, 800 megahertz radio systems, this is far and beyond better than the old VHF, which is the very high frequency systems we have.
Right.
It allows us to be able to be from downtown Jacksonville, talk on a portable radio to downtown Gainesville. No problem. We hear each other clear as a bell. There are areas, though, in our county where the blending of the analog and digital systems causing gaps. Some areas, little areas in Keystone, Hampton, places, out west. It happens. It happens in every county. So it's not
Right.
like we're dealing with anything that's singular to us. This upgrade is going to allow us to make sure that we have 100% coverage countywide, 24 hours a day, so that if a deputy in Brooker needs help and he keeps up on his radio in the middle of the woods or wherever it is, he's going to get through and instantly be able to get the help that he needs.
All right.
It's also going to enhance our phone systems. When you call 911, we're going to be able to track your phone by triangulating it with the pinging, so we can be able to tell where you are calling from. We can do that now. This is going to enhance that as well. This entire system that the sheriff has put together, along with Lieutenant Shupert and Sergeant Roberts and the rest of them, this is going to bring us a state-of-the-art system that will rival anything that you would find in Miami-Dade, Hillsborough, Duval, Orange.
Really?
Oh yeah. This is a system that is.
I kept saying we got one of the best ones anyway.
And this is going to bring us up to the upper echelon.
And we've already got. We just enhanced the 911 system.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just recently, in the last year, upgraded our 911 system. There's only about 3 of them like them in the state right now, and that was working through grant. We're at a disadvantage.
Poor old Bradford.
But we don't mind. We have people that write. They do a lot of writing. We do a lot of grants. We apply for 10. We may get 1.
Yeah.
And it's according to how much match. We can't do a lot of them because there's too much match.
Right.
And we don't have the funds there. It's like this appropriations. We're going to have to dig into probably some of our jail set aside again.
Right.
They pay it, but it's all reimbursed when it's spent. So
Right.
as soon as you spend it, it's reimbursed. So it's 100% match.
Right. Mike, come on back in a minute. Let's talk real quick. I want to end the show. Just want to remind you, got the grins from all the team. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we're going to have 3 shows for you this week. Tomorrow's show is going to be all sports, starting at 4 o'clock. We ain't even going to talk about, we're going to go straight into sports. So, I've got a little homework. Hey, I've got a little homework for you.
Sure.
So, your favorite team, Dave Holland Jr., is the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Nope,
What's your favorite team?
don't have one.
You don't have.
I'm not into sports like you
You're
guys
not.
are.
I think you like Cincinnati. All right. So, Sheriff, you take Pittsburgh. I want you to talk about Pittsburgh. Go home and do your homework about Pittsburgh. You can have the Jaguars. You want the Jaguars or the Cowboys? I figured I'd give you the
Give
Cowboys.
him the Cowboys. Who
All
are
right.
you going to take?
Okay, you take the Jaguars. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Oh.
You want to take Tampa?
I'll take anyone you tell me because I'm
Tampa.
Why don't you take Tampa? Because I'd like to hear about Mr. Brady and all that. So you take Tampa, dig into that. Give us from the draft.
Big money.
Give us from the draft
That,
and what you think they're going to do. That's what we'll do. All right, Sheriff.
drafts this year for
What we're
squad
going to do
teams.
is what you'll talk about is how they did in the draft, and I'll go over the draft again. How they did in the draft, what you're thinking. Give us a little bit of all that, and that'll be your favorite team. Byron, you got the Jags. Dave, who do you got? Never mind. Anyway, you've got Tampa. You've got the Cowboys. I've got Miami.
Dave's got Tennessee.
Oh,
Smart reminds me of Jeff Booty, by the way. Oh, Lordy.
Hey, maybe we
Anyway.
get Jeff on here to do
That's
Tennessee.
it.
Yeah, he'll be talking about Tennessee. when we're talking about who? When we're talking about Florida versus Georgia, it's Tennessee. Good grief. Just some real quick comments. And I see that Go Gator stuff. Me and Dwight and Mr. Bagwell here, we'll fight over that right along with you guys too, all you Gator fans.
That's right.
Yeah. What? Oh, boy. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, well, you got a duck. I agree with that. Bill Clinton should have had the book thrown at him. Okay? How to cook a duck.
Bill Clinton should have had more.
How to cook a duck.
Bill Clinton should have had more than
Yeah, I see that. We're going to get it. You want to get him?
Mama's baby boy.
Yeah, I see Jimmy Smith is watching.
I'm sure he's busy working out there in the watch,
Supervising.
Checking in on what's really
You're supervising Jimmy. I know you are.
He does more than, I guarantee he does more than those county commissioners.
Deanne Kirkland, Gilbert, I agree. The Dems have nothing but double standards. Joe Biden almost equals as Bill Clinton. Oh, boy, we talked about that. No, I agree.
Uncle Joe just can't remember.
Yes.
No,
Liberals,
there's not a trail of dead bodies
behind that.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Liberals love protecting sexual perverts. Don't forget about Justice Clarence Thomas.
Oh man, what they did to him.
Yeah, Dwight Allen.
Great did about it.
Yeah, I didn't forget him. I just had to bring it back.
Probably one of the smartest Supreme Court justices we have.
Oh yeah.
Good man.
Let's see. How long can state and local officials extend executive orders before legislative action is required?
We have to keep renewing them. I'm telling you, every 10 days we have to renew them because they're short. They have to keep getting renewed every 10 days.
I thought it was 10 days.
Every 10 days in here, at a local level, every 10 days it has to be. So the way the law is set up in the state of Florida, the emergency management director, which is assigned to the sheriff's office, but he's actually appointed through the Board of County Commissioners. He's appointed through the Board of County Commissioners, and he has the authority to declare that state of emergency.
Right.
And then what he does, he works with them, and then when they have a commission meeting, they go and they approve. But he has the authority to go and do that.
Right. I got
So,
you.
and that's how it works, and that way they can change. And that's the reason it's jurisdiction to jurisdiction, y'all.
That's right.
Right. All the states with Democratic governors are showing their true communist colors. There are too many regulatory entities that have too much power over American citizens. That's from Deanna, I guess. I'd be happy for gradual reopening, Noah says. That's what you're sort of getting right here. And maybe it'll be more gradual next week as this thing comes more in tune. So we'll see. Fear makes people go stupid.
It always has.
Always has,
And
Dwight.
that's the reason that people can stir that up. If you can stir the fear, you'll get people to commit to doing things they would have otherwise not done.
That's exactly
The greatest leaders of the time have always understood that.
Okay.
The government is not our parents.
Amen.
Amen, brother. You hit that right on the head. It's really sad when we are called selfish because we want to go back to work to provide for our families.
Please.
People are so scared that they turn on people who want to make a living. That's Deanne Kirkland.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead.
No, I think you was right on.
Yeah, I said, you can't pay any attention to that nonsense. Don't pay any attention to those people. Look, you're not the one that's being selfish. They are.
Correct.
It is, and part of the problem we had is we didn't have just hair places, but we had restaurants. One calls in and reports the other because one was eating outside. I was dealing with that. And I kept telling people, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm not that guy. I'm not here to cause you any harm. Do it responsibly. Yeah, so we had people that would call in reference. One restaurant allowed one to do things. We had one hairdresser call in reference the other hairdresser. And when I talked to the secretary, he said, our biggest problem is not just there. You got to, because they're instead of helping each other,
right?
It goes one thought was getting, and I hate it because these are people that work together.
It's somebody thinks they're getting over on somebody, or they're getting more than that person is getting. You know what I mean? Or they're getting.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say I'm an enforcer of law, keeper of justice. My job is to keep the peace.
That's correct.
Peace,
right.
But if I can find a place to get in and get my hair cut, I'm gonna get my hair cut. And I don't want to cause nobody no grief. And it says what they're talking about. The second degree misdemeanor is in violation of the executive order. The DPPR has no enforcement action. They have no lawful authority action. What they were talking about is a violation of that. I didn't see it that way. I didn't see that personal hygiene is no different than a lot of other things. When you're talking about the dry cleaner can be open.
Correct.
That is exactly.
That's exactly right.
I don't know how they pick and choose this. And they need to be able, because I need my dry cleaning too. I like my fresh white shirts.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things we had to make a judgment call, and that's from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. As long as people are reacting responsibly, doing what they should, I told many of them, "Are you cutting hair? I need hair." Well, I don't have much hair, but
Right.
Exaggeration.
I didn't say that. You did.
You know what I'm saying? So I want people to understand that the sheriff will come knocking on the door and say, "Hey, that wasn't mine. You worked through the licensing regulation authority, that regulatory authority. I was putting that burden on them. That wasn't for us. We're not going to come bring people to jail.
No.
We're trying to let people out. So we're trying to control that inside the jail as well. And we had other things to be doing. This welfare and safety of the community.
Right.
Now, if there was somebody I thought put them in harm, I was the first one to be there. Large crowds. We've showed up and we stopped some large crowds from gathering. We went and addressed a few things with some health issues on some other areas. I'm going to leave out of it. But most everybody complied. I'm telling you, in our community, I didn't deal with what the other sheriff were dealing with. To that, I say thank you to my community.
Right. You know, you mentioned about people calling on other people. If you ever seen a thing on Facebook where the neighbor is calling the law enforcement, she's like, "Yeah, I'd like to report my neighbor. They got 11 people over there, and you're only supposed to have 10." And dispatch, she goes, "Yeah, but if I send somebody, that's going to be 12."
Yeah, there you go. True. All right, more people are dying from prescribed drugs. I agree.
Yes.
This destroying the economy is going to have negative consequences and more negative infighting. Yeah. Okay, Noah. They like freeloading off the rest of us. The White Allen replying to Deanna. And that was one of the, you sort of brought up, and I won't hit this too long. You sort of brought this up a little bit a while ago, Sheriff. You know, you've got certain people, and I'm not going to get into it tonight because we could have another hour conversation on it, but we know who we're talking about here that's telling America not to go back to work. Hey, draw that money off, you know, that they're giving you, blah, blah, blah. But here is my essential tale. They told me I'm essential when this mess was really high up on the grid, and they're telling me, and we're talking all these guys.
Everybody that's sitting at this
right
table
here
has worked their rear ends off since they began this.
Since they began this, we haven't had no days off except the days off that we're
Get off
supposed
your
to
butt
have.
and go back to work.
Yeah,
No extra pay.
No extra pay. No hazard pay. Do you get hazard pay, Mr. Bagwell? Probably more than anybody because you go into this, you don't get no hazard pay.
I get straight pay and overtime, and that's what I get.
So, you know,
no hazard
all these,
pay at all. And I go in these places where there are cases of COVID-19 inside of them.
Correct. So Mr. Bagwell has to really protect himself through this stuff because he definitely doesn't want to get it. He has elderly parents that he doesn't want to give it to, that you talk and visit with quite a bit. You definitely don't want to give it to them. Gordon has the same thing. Mitchell, myself, Shelley battling cancer, chemo all through. We can't afford to get that mess and give it to our loved ones like that. So we got to, you know, y'all are doing the right things by using your PPE correctly and the things that you're supposed to be doing. But what I wanted to say about this
common sense, I don't want to crack.
Right. The freeloading is, yeah, you're exactly right. Here's my essential tale going back to work. And guess who's paying for it? Us essential workers are paying for all that because the last time I checked, my check, they taxed the piss out. They taxed the mess out of me. Excuse me. Bleep that, will you?
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, take care of that. They taxed the mess out of me. So I know they're still getting their tax
Use
money.
of the word piss is not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you better. I'm sorry about that. Just irritated me. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
necessarily reflecting the rest
The rest
of the day on David Rodgers show.
Yeah. Don't let that nonsense go to your head. She just told.
You notice I didn't say our show. I said David Rodgers show.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you? Yeah. Hey, go ahead and throw that fish out there. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Right
so
up
much
underneath the bus, and they backed over the top of it.
About 4 times.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheriff Smith, you said, for fighting for us in Bradford County. That is a very good question. Hey, David, TJ is ready to come on this show. Okay. Well, hey, we'll talk about that, deal. Yeah, well, there you go. Shave mine off, Mr. Sheriff Gordon Smith, Noah Gibson said. Governor DeSantis had a town meeting with some barbers today to discuss that subject. Exactly. Mr. Mitchell Gunter brought that up. Is the sanitizer y'all are using at least 60% alcohol? Jeff Udy's brother wants to know. I think it's 70.
70%.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So there you go. 70% there, Mr. Mark Goody.
Yeah, don't drink it.
David, not Davis whatsoever. I knew who you meant, Deanna. I knew you meant. Shut up, Mr. Bagwell. I seen you. Renee Stegall, that lives in
He just
Pascagoula,
skipped right
Mississippi,
past
by the way.
my comment. By
Yeah,
the way.
I did. I sure did. She says, amen, Sheriff. She lives on Pascagoula, Mississippi. She loves you already. She says she feels like she knows you. She's 440 miles away. That's crazy, ain't it?
Vote early, vote often.
Hey,
By
man,
mail?
this church too, yes.
Yeah, nailed it.
Doesn't taste that big. Mail it in.
Don't you live with you about at least 7 months out of the year?
No, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. Bernie Sanders project has not went well. Okay, the white. It had. Great letter.
He's right.
He's right.
Here's your socialism. You like it?
It's called Keeping Sanity. Okay, thank you, Gordon Smith, for all you're doing for Bradford County. Janet Rolls watching. Noah Gibson said, ooh, skinny jeans?
Yeah,
We should have quarantined better.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine. Liz says, good night, gentlemen. She was watching tonight. Matthew Eunice, what is the statute of limitation on? You answered that already, right? You
Every
did?
10 days.
Every 10 days.
Presidential executive orders, once issued, remain in force until they are canceled, revoked, adjudicated, unlawful, or expire on their terms. All at any time, the president may revoke, modify, or make executive orders, whether the order was made by the current president or a predecessor. That is absolutely correct.
Yep.
Okay. Matthew says Illinois limits executive order to 30 days from announcement of a state of emergency.
I don't know.
Illinois, yeah.
Ours is on a 10-day basis. The governor's here, Florida, 30
Right.
days. And he, like I said, he did it on April 1st and either renew it or modify it. And he did.
Good night, gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Deanna said, "Gotta go. Y'all have a great night. Awesome show." People are saying, Bailey versus Pritzker. You know that? You know that one, Byron? I don't know that either, Matt. So, a 5.4 magnitude earthquake hit Puerto Rico earlier today.
Yeah, I was going to mention that before we
Wow.
closed the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
Thank you, Austin. That's pretty strong.
Yep.
Roy Johnson said, "Damn great show, Gordon. You kick ass."
That's right.
Yeah, he tries.
Sir. Nobody's going to love it more than me, I promise.
Dave Holland Senior said, "Dave Holland Jr., you're fired." Great show, guys. Thank you, Gordon. Nah, he didn't say that. He wants a seat back. But
ready.
Dave, hey, yeah, he wants a seat back, Dave. You want to tell him anything? Tell him he ain't getting it back now?
He can tomorrow for y'all sports section.
He can tomorrow on the sports. Oh, is he going to be back in time? I don't know.
I hope so.
Shirley Pinska.
He really doesn't like sports.
I don't.
Great show tonight.
Overpaid crybaby.
Again, just real quick, we still got several people on. Let's get some final thoughts. Gordon, I'll start with you. We'll just go around.
Yeah, I just want to say in closing, I thought it was a great show tonight. We got to talk about this stuff in dressing. I want our community to know, and if we get it out before, this source to let people know that we're out there doing something on behalf of them. We believe in our small businesses. That's the backbone of our community. And allow kids to go back to a playground. We're getting some things. We're opening up our community together. And because of that, we're all going to be better. And just that we're fortunate to live in Bradford County.
All right. Mr. Bob Bagwell.
What if a certain person that's the head of the CDC made a speech about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and said the next administration will have a problem with a pandemic? What if also during that same administration, that same head of the CDC gave millions of dollars to a lab in Wuhan, China to study the coronavirus?
True story. True story. That is very true. Think about that, guys. Is what he's basically.
Think about it, because I'm talking about that Tuesday. Because there is something in the water that don't smell good, and if that is true, and I think it is, President Trump basically talked about it. From what I'm understanding, under the Barack Obama administration, we gave billions of dollars to that lab in China to study the coronavirus.
Austin Stevens. Thank you, Byron.
Let's see what happens with that one.
Step up here. I'll hold you.
You, come on. Step up here. Give us a little weather.
All right, current weather, Keystone Heights and Stark is currently sitting at 70 and 73 with 50% humidity, and it is mostly clear. Enjoy the nice, beautiful weekend, and if you can spend time outside with loved ones. I encourage it. The weather will be beautiful through the rest of this week, all the way through next Saturday night's show. So we're looking for sunny conditions. There will be a cold front, but it's going to be dry coming through Thursday.
All right.
And 100% of love bugs on your front windshield.
There you go.
I
Michael here.
can't predict those love bugs.
Just a quick follow-up. Rumor control line for those of you that have friends, family, folks that don't have internet access or don't use social media. Again, any questions that you may have, 904-368-3943. Starting tomorrow is the National Weather Service and Bradford County Emergency Management Hurricane Preparedness Week. Make sure you follow us on social media so that we can give you the latest information. We're 27 days away from the start of the hurricane season. And great show tonight. We are here to keep you informed, not alarmed.
Great job.
I just want to say, keep yourself safe. Keep on washing your hands like you're supposed to anyway, without being told. And also keep our neighbors to our south, down there in Puerto Rico with the earthquake.
We see reports that it actually damaged the museum.
So keep on thinking about them, and hey, try to get outside with your family. Have fun with them during this time. Like I said, we're going to try to go over to St. Augustine next weekend. Hopefully get out of here by Thursday afternoon and won't come back until Sunday afternoon.
There you
That's
go.
our hope.
When you're outside, the chances go down of you catching the virus.
Well, the store's supposed to be opening back up, 25% to capacity. So why not try to go enjoy it?
That's right.
My final
I hope you get to. Sorry.
My final thoughts are, we sit here and we talk political, we talk sports, we talk local news. At the end of the day, I think you all gentlemen all agree, we're all human beings. We're all human beings. We're all Americans. We all should be working to fight this thing the same. We should have not political differences here, political differences there in the middle of a pandemic. We should all be working together. But right now, that is not happening because, as always, there's always some kind of political issue or political thing that has to back all of this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means. But I can tell you, I agree with Mr. Bagwell. Something in the water smells here. We'll get into that Tuesday. I just want y'all to be safe, take care. We do have a sports show tomorrow. Mr. Gordon Smith has got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mr. Bagwell has got the Jaguars, right? So you can go home and get a little bit on the Jaguars. You've got the Dallas Cowboys.
There's going to be one name I'm going to talk about for about an hour.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've got the Miami Dolphins, and I'll go over some of the rest of the draft and the league because we want to go with the second round.
I was about to say, we're still going to
We're going to the second round because there were some names there, and this will all tie in. And I want to call out Mr. Dwight Allen. You don't like sports. Give me a break. All you talk about is the Gators against the... He doesn't. So Dwight Allen loves sports. You'll be on tomorrow. Now, Dave Holland Jr. did say, hey, man, I'm not a big sports guy. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to leave you guys with. Just need to work together to get through this thing. We need to get America back to working. Let's get the economy back up. Let's get the unemployment rate down. And let's do what we're supposed to be doing as American citizens. Once again, our thanks to our fantastic sponsors. On behalf of the entire team, everyone have a great evening. And remember, we're on the spot, so you can be too. Good night, everybody. Tell everybody good night, guys.
Good night.
Hey.
Good night.
One more victory. And French on the right.